All right, 6:02 in the Rose City. Time for Dirt and Sprague on Portland Sports Leader 105.1 The Fan. And the Fan Sports Network. Hump Day. Good morning, good morning, morning. Happy Hump Day, everybody. Hello, Andrew.
What is
How you doing? How we feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good today, although the weather's going to blow, so that kind of sucks. But other than that, we're all right. I did forget my Celsius again. I don't know what's going on with me in the last 2 weeks. I'm getting very forgetful in the morning.
It's early mornings, man.
Starting to drive me crazy. So now I got to wait 59 minutes to run across the street and get an energy drink and drink 4 more black coffees in the next hour. So I got that going for me.
Anything worse than having to spend double the money you had to spend on something you already had?
Already bought them in bulk. They're sitting in my fridge, cooled off, ready to go. It's funny, too, the moment I realized it, because the backpack's way too heavy. I got a laptop in there. I got my headphone case. I got my iPad in there. There's random junk in there that probably should be thrown out. The second I lifted it up out of the back of the truck to come walk into the building today is when I realized I forgot my Celsius, because it was just a hair lighter than usual. And I'm like, wait a minute, did I... Oh, for a moment, I'm like, did I forget my laptop? Did I forget? No, that's just my energy drink, so we got to do it the organic way today.
Do you just throw it in the general bag?
I got my little cup holder on the side.
You got the side pocket,
my little
right?
side, I got one for my water bottle and one for my energy drink, and it was not filled up today.
Yeah, if I have that moment, I always try to grab the side of the bag by those areas, because I have water bottle in one, energy drink in the other.
Make sure you're ready to go. I didn't do that today. I need to start grabbing my backpack by the butt. You got to squeeze those cheeks.
You got to squeeze those cheeks, man.
I didn't squeeze the cheeks enough today.
No, you did not. No, you did not.
We got that going for us. How we doing today?
We're doing all right. I had a interesting day. Last basketball practice paired with a million things, it felt like, in sports.
That was a crazy day yesterday.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts. I think the most underrated crazy thing, I don't even know if I underrated, is USA losing to Italy's got to be
pretty wild.
And they were getting destroyed.
The NFL trumps kind of everything.
Yeah.
And then you had what you had in Miami.
Sure, it went, of the pecking order of stories, going back on a trade.
I think it's those three.
1, a record-breaking amount of points, or kind of, 2, and then the shock of Team USA losing.
Right.
And the manager, Mark DeRosa is the manager of Team USA. He went on MLB Network yesterday.
Did the Hot Stove Show.
Yes, did the Hot Stove Show.
Which he's a co-host of, by the way, during the regular season.
All season long, he's sitting on that show. Now he's a guest because he's the manager of Team USA. And he said point blank, we'd like to win today, but we know that it doesn't matter because we've already punched our ticket to the quarterfinals. And narrator voice enter into the chat. They indeed have not punched their ticket to the quarterfinals. And now we get one of the funniest rooting interests. So, if people are watching, you're going to care about this. If not, you're probably not going to care. It is the tiebreaker scenarios are absolutely hilarious. So Mexico and Italy are playing today, and we need either Italy to win the game, or I know, breaking news just came out of the NFL. We can get to it now if you. I didn't know if you wanted to hold it.
Sorry, I just saw it.
I just opened up Twitter, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's right out of the gate today.
There you go.
They either need, let me finish this and we can get to the breaking news.
Yeah, please.
They either need Italy to beat Mexico today. If Italy beats Mexico, then USA and Italy both advance. If Mexico beats Italy, they need Mexico to score at least 5 runs.
To beat Italy.
So it
needs to be 5 to whatever.
So you're either rooting for Mexico to lose or for Mexico to just hammer Italy with more than 5. If they win.
So Mexico winning 2-1.
We don't go to we're done. Team USA is eliminated. 3-4 or 4-3.
I want to be fair here.
4-0, 4-1.
But my Bravos were looking for a manager for a hot second.
You wanted him to get Mark DeRosa?
No. His name was being floated out by people because if you watch him on the show,
he's a great baseball mind.
He's a really good baseball mind. He's really good on television. I do like that we're just now, I'd say the last 12 years or so, we live in a society that if I see you do something on television well, I think you're qualified to do everything well.
That tends to be the case, yeah.
I mean, it's a very easy thing to fall in love with.
If you can eloquently speak about something, you seem like you know what you're doing.
Right, and DeRosa does that show is probably one of the better television shows on, but it's on the MLB Network, so whatever. But he's very well respected. I can't hammer him on this. And I know you could say, well, it's different. I totally hear that. Do you know how many times in a given week I get something wrong on our radio show?
All the time.
We did.
Every day.
We did a half hour on the pick swap thing
we
from
did.
An article.
We did.
And took 2 hours to realize somebody had said No. Keep scrolling the bottom of that article.
There's an editor's note at the bottom
and
of the article.
And there's a very bottom editor's note that says, I was wrong about all of this.
Oh, I didn't scroll far enough.
So I can't really hammer DeRosa. And by the way, Mark DeRosa, with a potential chance to win the game or tie the game, is not at bat with 2 outs and 2 strikes. That's an MVP.
It's Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge was
whiffing in a big moment.
Against an Italian pitcher taking a shot on espresso in the dugout before he goes out there.
So I can't hammer DeRosa too much because he at least, by the way, also said in the same sentence, even though we know we're in, we want to win.
We want to win the game.
He didn't say they were just going to roll over because they knew they were in.
They did not throw an electrician on the mound yesterday. They still had very talented baseball players playing in the game.
Right.
That was not quite the case.
Yeah.
And I tend to agree with you. I also will defend him in the case that I think like group and pool play stuff is really dumb.
Doesn't it kind of also speak to how stupid this is?
It's really dumb.
When the manager's like a little confused by it.
Doesn't understand the rules, and now we have to root for one team to win, or now it's run differentials going to decide this. Like, what are we? Just put everybody into a single elimination bracket. Make it something that Americans can understand.
Something super easy.
1 seed can be Japan, 32 seed can be Czechia, and go from there.
Look at us being ugly Americans.
Right? Single elimination, you win the game, you move on. It would be much more entertaining than we're playing Great Britain, and it kind of matters, but it doesn't really matter.
So maybe for the first time since Chauncey Billups was arrested by the feds at 5 a.m.
Yeah, that happened before the show. This is the first time I think we've ever had breaking news in the opening segment.
This is the second time for the show in the 6 a.m. segment, and this is the first time ever during the 6 a.m. segment.
Early Bird's getting a nice little gift.
We're getting the worm.
Good morning, everybody.
So we obviously will talk about a trade that was a take-back-seat.
Yeah, well, we don't want that one anymore.
Snip, snap. Snip, snap.
Put that money in escrow? How'd that thing turn out?
We have NFL breaking news.
We do.
And I don't even know how to do the show anymore because all of this is just ridiculous.
Yes.
The Baltimore Ravens have agreed to a 4-year, $112 million deal with Trey Hendrickson. And by the way,
pivot.
The Jamar Chase audio of Max Crosby being a Raven and him saying, "How you gonna let him stay in? How you gonna cut in this division?" How does he feel about his own ex-teammate now?
Division rival.
Staying in the division. Potentially laying a shot at him if he runs over the middle or gets a little wide receiver handoff.
Yeah.
4 years, $112 million contract for Trey Hendrickson after yesterday, which we'll get to. They backed out of the Max Crosby trade.
They did. They didn't like the medicals. They said short-term maybe he's okay, long-term not. They have the ability to do that when you have to pass a physical and look through every detail, and their doctors talk to the surgeon who performed the operation on Crosby. So, like, they did a lot of due diligence, and they said, we can't sign off on this with 2 first-round picks on the line. And dare I say...
Their medical staff, by the way, because we'll get into this today, their medical staff, maybe a little more than all of them, and I'm not to say their doctors are better or anything.
Right.
But I was reading an article on this. They have, like, 3 other examples where their doctors have, like, ended signings of players.
And this happens from time to time.
It does happen.
My baseball team went through it with Carlos Correa. We signed Carlos Correa to, like, a 9-year, $800 billion deal. And they're like,
out.
Nah. The day of I think it was the day of the press conference, they're like, press conference is off. Uh-oh. What does that mean?
Yeah.
He's in town. I thought and that wasn't a trade. That was just a free agent signing. And they're like, we're not going to give that to you. Of all the pivots you could have made, I'm going to do some quick math here because I'm not good at it off the top of my head.
No doubt.
So Crosby has a 3-year, $106 million contract right now with Vegas, $91 million guaranteed. That breaks down to about ballpark it $35 million a year, give or take. They just signed Hendrickson to $4,112. And it's about, I don't know what the difference is in terms of cap hit and signing bonus and all that. But when you average it over 4 years, it's $28 million. So they're saving roughly $7 million a year, 1 more year under contract.
Henderson's older, too, isn't he?
He is slightly older, I think he's 30, and Crosby is 29, I believe you were correct there. 28, he turns 29 in August.
That's what it is.
So he'll be 29 going into next season. So slightly older, but you got 1 more year. I doubt we even get to the 4th year. It's probably one of those, like, you're older, we'll give you 3 and a we'll see year, and you could get out of that if you want to, or restructure by the time you get there. Hell of a pivot for the Ravens. They needed an edge rusher. They wanted to go get one. They're now retaining their 2 first-round picks and signing the person I think we would all imagine is the second best available edge rusher, right? Crosby via trade is still number 1 because he's a better player than Hendrickson, but you go 1 and then 2 is Hendrickson.
Let me ask you this. I think most people would say Max Crosby's better.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. Is another team going to step up and give the Raiders...
No. What the Ravens offered?
Well, I don't know if it'll be exactly
Somebody
what the Ravens...
will get him, but I don't think
Is
you're
it
getting
a first and a second now? Like, I'm kind of curious what the trade market's going to be because he still doesn't want to be there, though he awkwardly has to go back. He's deleted his goodbye post that he's made.
Yeah, once you get social media goodbyes, it's hard to turn that thing around.
But it's not like there aren't desperate teams for edge rushers.
They're not. I'm wondering, like, what does this do for? Because I think you saw from Baltimore immediately pivot. We're moving on.
But I think people are more upset on Baltimore's end. I saw an article that was like, this is going to change how teams talk with the Ravens about trade stuff.
Very well could.
Because this is
the Raiders are pissed. They got screwed.
Well, the Raiders also had to come out and announce that they're going to still honor all the deals they've offered to everybody.
Yes.
Because they spent money.
It opens up today officially to start signing contracts, and they're not backing out any of the deals they signed.
Crosby's now going to come back on their books in terms of their cap space and how they were calculating all that until they can trade him again.
Maybe there's not that money for Lindenbaum after all if you got to pay Max Crosby $38 million. That was part of my analysis of that signing yesterday was, well, you just cleared up $38 million in cap space trading away Max Crosby. Not so fast, my friend.
There's a few teams you could point to for this here, but there are two obvious teams that jump into these trade waters. Would you care to guess who?
The Philadelphia Eagles?
No.
Okay.
No.
Cowboys?
Cowboys are one.
Yeah. They already pivoted though. They traded a third for Rashawn Gary. I don't think you're trading for Crosby.
I would never put
anything
anything past Jarrah and getting a crazy white boy off the edge to put him in a star uniform.
I get it. I get it.
There's a second obvious one for the reason that the Ravens backed out. The 49ers.
Ah, yeah, get another banged up guy.
Big guy.
Mike Evans, collarbone injury. Bring him on down.
Bad knees.
Crosby.
Bring him here to the substation.
We'll take him, baby. This substation will put him over the top.
Now, actually, I don't know if either one of those are even contemplating. I'm just saying in a joking matter, it would be Jarrah.
My fear is genuinely the team that I listed. My fear is the Eagles. They seem like the team who strikes.
Do they even have the cap space for it?
I don't know, but I also don't think cap space is real, to your point that you've made for years. Like they do this a lot in draft night. Jalen Carter slips to them. He had no business being there, but he had gotten in trouble off the field and the driving incident and the
Eagles
vehicle manslaughter.
$10 million.
Okay, so they don't have a lot of cap space. You'd have to clear money in order
to
do
that.
But they just seem like the team who's opportunistic of like, wait, 70 cents on the dollar? Sure, we'll take that value.
So what did you say Crosby's APY is, his average per year?
So the cap hit the next 3 years is 38, 35, 29. So you're ballparking roughly around $35-ish million a year. It goes down in the final year. 3-year, 106 deal. They can get out of it before 2028.
I don't think the Seahawks would trade for him. They got the money.
They got the money to do it.
Titans. Oh, how about this one?
Chargers. Raiders wouldn't do it in the division, but
they wouldn't.
Maybe not. I don't know. They're desperate now. I mean, they are absolutely.
I think the Raiders want draft capital. I don't think the Raiders are operating on what happens in the division. And the Commanders, by the way, have a ton of cap space.
Commies could make that move. Yeah,
they just signed the guy from the Chargers. He played in Baltimore. Owa.
Oh, the edge rusher. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but he had a really good year.
He had a really good year coming over, and he actually ended up getting a lot more than I thought he was.
4 years, $100 million.
That's what it was. Yeah, I was like, what? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he had an amazing run with the Chargers last year.
Good call. So they just that's a tough part with a lot of these teams is that when Crosby. Like, we talked about this at the start of free agency with the quarterback plan a lot, but it's the same with edge rushers. Like, you have a big board idea of things you want to do. And I think for a lot of teams, Max Crosby was number one. The second Max Crosby gets traded to the Ravens, what do? You pivot.
Which is like, how many teams wish they wouldn't have pivoted if they knew the trade?
Like you mentioned the commies, they immediately go get another edge rusher.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we didn't get Crosby? All right. The Cowboys are the same thing with Rashawn Gary. Like, a lot of these teams went and found option 2 or 3, and they're now likely off the board here.
It's a very rare instance, but do you wonder, like, is there a way to do a trade where you take the physical right as the thing opens so you can know yay or nay?
You would tend to think you could make that work, but it's hard to do.
I mean, it's the NFL. You can do anything.
Sure.
But I'm
you got to get this guy to
that.
fly to the city because it's the team doctors that want to look at him. So you got to get in town. You got to get looked at by the team doctors. They got to go over the MRIs.
Crazy.
Wild stuff yesterday. I did not. You were the one that let me know this happened. And I'm like, what? They backed out of the deal? And
I just happened to see it 15 minutes after it came out. I just got lucky and saw it. I'm like,
timing,
oh my God.
You check the news or you're on ESPN or whatever.
I was watching TV. It popped up on the scroll, and I go, no way. So I opened the ESPN app. Is it breaking news?
What?
I'm like, what?
And now you get Hendrickson in the division. division, staying in the division, going to Baltimore, man. He's been awesome. Good for him. He's going to have a chance to go win.
Yeah.
He has been strung out the last couple of years by a cheap organization. He got his payday, 4-year, $112 million deal.
Trey Hendrickson in Baltimore, 4 years, 112, as Dirt alludes to there, no longer a Bengal, staying in the division. We have an absolutely loaded show today. Let's get it going on a beautiful hump day. Dirt and Sprague, 105.1, The Fan.
a.m.
Well, I'm doing an Omaha here because we had breaking news in the opening segment. I was going to get to the Max Crosby Ravens. Yes.
Not really a hot route, but
it's okay.
Felt like we needed a football call there.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It's a big football day. We do have what I think is massive, and somehow because it's that league, it's now diving into the is it ethical? And I'm like, of course.
I love my favorite thing today. I had no clue that happened yesterday until you texted, and I'm reading your text message like, wait. What, like wrapping my head around.
I only had the NBA app alerting me to the He's got 62 going into the fourth, and I'm like, holy crap! He had 31 in the first.
I just love when people remember rants from years ago. And the first text we got into the show today is Dirk gonna crap all over this, like he did Devin Booker. It was the first text of the day.
What did I text you last night?
Same thing. It's the same thing.
Literally the same thing as that listener.
Was it ethical?
We'll talk about that today. Our beloved Blazers choked away a 19-point first half lead to the Hornets.
Why did I stay up for the end of that game?
I don't know.
To watch Kamara throw the ball out of bounds to Denny Avdia with 6 seconds to go or whatever it was. It's 9:30. I could have gone to bed 45 minutes before that.
Diabate ran our starting center off the floor. He was too good.
Yeah, Scoot had a decent night and then didn't play in the last 6 minutes of the fourth quarter.
Well, it's not true.
And
he hit the last shot of the game, and I think they covered the spread.
Oh, did they end up? Yeah, when there was 3 and they were then foul, it was over at that point. So I went to bed.
Unless they were a 3.5-point favorite. I couldn't remember what side that was, but he hit a 3 literally at the buzzer. They lost 103-101.
I've made money gambling against them the last couple of games. When they had a double-digit lead in the first half, I bet the Hornets. Thank you.
I don't blame you for that.
Thank you.
Coincidentally, the shot Scoot hit at the buzzer, it gave them the McDonald's activation.
Yeah.
And I heard they played the thing at the end of the game, which was kind of depressing. And then Calabro says it. I didn't know this, by the way. Side tangent note that's probably going to derail the segment.
Sure.
Are you aware of what happens when we score 100 points now?
You get like a French fry?
No. So you remember back in the day what we used to get?
You'd get a chalupa coupon on your way out of the door.
You got an actual physical coupon at the door. It said 1 free chalupa. Here you go. Boom. You got like 8 months to claim this.
By the way, chalupas, elite.
Who didn't get excited about grabbing that?
Everybody grabbed it.
Right.
If anything, you would try to sneak yourself into 3 or 4 of them.
Now, if you got the McDonald's app.
Yes.
Dirt, you get a free sausage sandwich.
Okay.
After you spend $2. That's what it said on the broadcast. After spending $2.
Probably through the app, too. Like you have to order
to
something
go
through
the
app
to get your free sandwich.
Buy something, spend $2.
So your free thing is actually a $2 tax now.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
In terms of inflation and where things have gone.
Yes.
Cost of living.
It's unbelievable.
You now have to spend $2 to get it. And by the way, I am a huge fan of McDonald's. We know that. McDonald's is elite. I will eat it, and I love it. The sausage sandwich? The sausage biscuit?
I mean, the sausage breakfast sandwich is pretty elite.
I mean, it's not. Yeah, but it's not an Egg McMuffin. Give me the Egg McMuffin all day.
I don't make the deal, man.
I mean, I feel like we're going down the menu here. Why is it a breakfast item? Give me a quarter pounder. Why can't I have that?
Like it's fallen off a cliff. When you're telling me to spend money for my free item, you've lost the plot.
What are we doing?
We need to fix this internally.
Dundon, get on it now,
Tommy. Now, let's pivot back into the NFL. We'll get to the Blazers. We'll get to the ethical, non-ethical, but oh my God, I can't believe that happened in a game last night of the NBA. So the Ravens signed Trey Hendrickson to a 4-year, $112 million contract. He stays in the division, and now Joe Burrow, who gets sacked by everybody else in the division, will be sacked by his former teammate.
Spoken at Joe Burrow.
What's his first thought when Trey Hendrickson yanks him down from behind?
I'm depressed. Get me out of here. What model can I call after the game? This sucks, dude. I'm going to go dye my hair blonde again. That's all I got left.
So really good, clean, quick pivot for the Ravens here. They get what most people would probably say is the second best edge rusher on the free agency market. Well, free agency market, the best, but in the trade available guys, second best behind Crosby. They rescind and they back out of the Max Crosby trade yesterday because according to the report, the physicals for Crosby were too concerning for the medical team of the Ravens. And so a lot of people are wondering, okay, what are the Ravens going to do now? They've lost the window here, but then Trey Hendrickson hadn't been signed, so they just went in and gave him the bag.
Yep.
And now the Raiders have come out and said they're still going to honor every contract they've offered. They'd spent the most money in free agency.
To be fair, they had the most money to spend.
Well, I know, but they had spent the most money. And so now you put Crosby back on your books. And now people are wondering what's going to happen with Crosby. Is this going to be a red flag for no team to trade for him? Or, according to one report, the Ravens team staff, this was an NFL general manager speaking anonymously, he says that this information about Crosby's knee was well documented for every franchise, that his rehab was progressing to June, July. It was going to take a while. Medical team in Baltimore looked at it, said, I don't know, man. This could be a really dicey trade. Baltimore got cold feet, didn't want to lose their 2 first-round draft picks, backed out of it, and now the Raiders are stuck with Crosby, who don't want to be there. But is a team going to trade for him, or is everybody looking at Baltimore sideways like, dude, that's pretty messed up what you did there?
Look, we're going to do the ethical or not ethical segment in a moment on the NBA. This is the same exact segment, just with the NFL in a different way. For exactly what you're pointing out, like, this is widely known. He had surgery on his knee. He missed the end of the season. The Raiders wanted to shut him down, and they did. He proceeded to have surgery. And everybody has reported that he is well on schedule and he's ready to play game 1, and that there wasn't really that much of a surprise in there. What did change in the short term between them announcing the trade, which is 2-3 days ago, whenever it happened? Maybe it was even before then, right? It was Friday. So they announced it on Friday. Now we're all the way into next Wednesday. What happened in the meantime was the other available edge rusher, who was a priority piece for a lot of teams, was not signed by anybody. We kept asking every day, hey, who's going to get Hendrickson? He's still out there and available. Hey, why hasn't anybody signed Hendrickson yet?
Is he going to get the money?
Is he going to get the money? And, well, the intel was that at the start of free agency, or the tampering period, or whatever the hell we're calling this, he was asking for an amount that nobody was willing to pay. And shockingly, as days go on, what do you do when nobody's matching your offer? You lower your asking price. And you go from saying, I want X amount to, you know what, I'd sign for this, or maybe I would sign for that. And as the days went on, the amount that Hendrickson was going to ask for was going down. People just weren't. He's older. It's the 4-year thing that he's probably asking for. And it's like there's a gamble involved in that, too, of how many more years is he truly elite as an edge rusher. And then you hit the nexus point of, wait a minute, that's all it's going to cost to get Hendrickson? That's it? 4 years, 112, less than $30 million.
Did you think
average?
It was going to be more than that?
He was asking for more than that at the start.
The amount, in my mind,
I would have thought too.
Like that.
The point was, though, in the last 5-6 days, he's not signing that contract until he gets to a certain point that he's sure that nobody else will give him that amount of money. And so you brought it up in the last segment, and I know that this is going to be a thing around the NFL. Like, people are looking side-eyed at Baltimore in this deal of, we knew that he had surgery. You just were able to get an edge rusher on a cheaper contract and keep your 2 first-round picks because nobody else signed him. Like, I genuinely will ask the question. If Hendrickson had signed somewhere 2 days ago,
I don't think they back out.
They're not backing out of this trade because they needed an edge rusher, and you could still be scared about the medicals, but you're not going back on the deal.
Which is the other part of, I think, the conversation here that I don't even think you could ever prove this.
No.
They call it the legal tampering period, right? There's a window lifted. We know that some of these guys have agreements before that. It's no different than the NBA in that regard. I have to wonder, in my mind, doing the backing out of the Crosby deal, that they had contacted Hendrickson and said, if the medicals don't check out for us, we want you.
We'll have this available for you.
And he evaluates the landscape and says, well, I'm going to get the most money I can, but also, you're Baltimore. You've been better than us in the division.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens. He didn't get the deal he wanted by a numbers basis.
Right. Would you rather sign for $115 to be a Jet or $112 to be a Raven?
And the Ravens talked to his agent before they announced that they were backing out of that trade and said, we'll give you 4-1-12. Let us back out of this trade. Let us know what you think. And they came back and said, we're in. And then they said, we're out of the trade.
Sorry.
Don't like the medicals.
Ooh.
Because you're right. They have extra year on Hendrickson, so in the long term they spend a little bit more, but you'd have to wonder, would you extend Crosby, all that?
Sure.
But they, on a year basis, they spend less and keep the first-round draft picks
this year and next year,
and have just as productive an edge rusher when he plays.
For the next 2 years at least. Now
2 years,
right,
or more. So I'm with you 100. This was obvious, some shady dealing going on, and not a good look for Baltimore. Of all the teams involved in the league, I would have picked the Raiders to be the shady team here.
Yes.
Baltimore kind of looking a little shady today.
Not what they've been known for over the years.
No, we can talk about this on the other side of just like the business of Max Crosby now and what that's going to mean for the Raiders, because I don't think there's any world where they want that to keep going.
No, you can't bring him back into training camp now.
And who is the team that may step up here and try to go get Max Crosby? I'm kind of curious about this. So we'll get to that, and then we'll get to the ethical, non-ethical situation that popped up in the association last night. Dirt and Sprague back with more, but first, Swag with the sports update.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Blazers going cold in the fourth quarter after leading the Hornets most of the first three quarters. They couldn't convert late, fell to Charlotte 103-101 after leading by 19 early in the game. Portland will host the Jazz this Friday. Story of the NBA Tuesday night, Bam Adebayo with the Heat scoring 83 points. That's the second most in a game in league history, leading Miami to a 150-129 win over the Wizards. Bam did hit 7 threes and set an NBA record at the free throw line, making 36 of 43. After nixing the trade for Max Crosby on Tuesday due to concerns over the results of his physical, the Ravens have reportedly agreed to a 4-year, $112 million contract with former Bengal pass rusher Trey Hendrickson. USA Baseball in jeopardy of missing the quarterfinals of the World Baseball Classic. They lost to Italy Tuesday night 8-6. So if Mexico beats Italy today, the tiebreaker between the three teams comes down to runs allowed divided by outs recorded. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard for the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live 1080 AM.
All right, welcome back in. Happens to just be really good timing. We were excited today because we have Andrew Brandt at 8:30. And, Dirt's I am too, but Dirt, always cites his stuff. He's a really smart.
You used to be the president of the Packers for a long time.
Yeah, he's been in the NFL. He can walk you through everything that's going on from a business standpoint of how teams operate, and I can't think of a better
perfect timing
day than to have Andrew Brandt on with the Max Crosby trade, Trey Hendrickson deal, all that stuff. By the way, our good friend Vinny Bonsignor covers the Raiders.
In Vegas.
Very connected dude. Been a beat writer for a long time for the Raiders. By the letter of the law, the Ravens didn't break any rules by backing out of the Crosby deal.
No.
But they breached an honor element, and there are very angry people in a lot of NFL circles right now as a result of this.
It's the integrity stuff, man. You're supposed to operate the right way. And we'll never be able to prove that they didn't unless there's a smoking gun and somebody comes out and it's like, yeah, we totally backed out of that for bogus reasons. But the window hasn't even opened yet, so I don't even know if they needed to see the physicals in order to back out of the trade. We can't even officially process the trade yet. The new league year has not begun until, I believe, this afternoon.
We will get to the massive news that happened out of the association last night. We will talk about our beloved Blazers. Coming in our next segment, we need to ask the real question of, should this be over now?
Ooh.
Did yesterday officially
Is it over?
Signal that it should be done? Because some would make an argument that that's the clearest of signs, but we'll talk about that coming up at 6:45. By the way, I had forgotten the Commanders, who I had mentioned here.
Yes.
So they went and got the cat from the Chargers. They also signed the Patriot linebacker that is sometimes the edge rusher. Is it Chasen?
I believe Chasen, yes.
They went and signed him to a one-year deal. So I don't know if they would be a team in the running of this, the Max Crosby sweepstakes, and that's kind of where I'm at now, because Hendrickson going to Baltimore makes sense from a needs fit standpoint. Like, he's kind of right with what they are aiming to do with their defense this year with Minter. I have to wonder now about the other side of this. The Raiders and Max Crosby had a conversation and basically were like, yeah, we can't be together anymore. This is over.
It's time to move on.
But Baltimore doing this may make some teams second-guess doing it, or a team picks up the phone today and says, well, this just got a little cheaper, but we'll still give you some stuff.
Look, the Raiders are one of the worst-run organizations in all of sports. They've been a laughingstock for a quarter century, if not longer than that. They haven't won a playoff game since I was 2 years old. They suck, and nothing that they do is right, and they allow Brady to operate and do whatever he wants and puts Alex Guerrero in positions of power. Like, everything the Raiders do is a bit of a joke and a bit of a laughingstock, despite my take on their center signing yesterday. That being said, the Raiders got absolutely hosed here. Like, they are absolutely screwed, and they have every right to be upset because you are now left with two options. Option one is you take 70 cents on the dollar for your best player, who was going to be the most sought-after piece of the entire offseason. But why would any team in their right mind now offer 2 first-round picks when you know that the Raiders are this desperate, and a lot of the suitors who were in the running originally are now out of the running because of other moves that they've made? So option one is I have this great commodity that I'm now selling for 70 cents on the dollar, or option two is I force a player who no longer wants to be a part of my organization to show up at training camp this offseason. Which route are you picking? I'm still going to try and trade him.
Oh, they have.
But the reality of what they're going to get is not. I mean, they're not getting 2 first-round picks. Like, mark it down, save this for when it doesn't happen.
Well, how many teams were going to do that anyway?
Not
I think that's
that many.
A fair thing to ask. That's a huge price to pay for a 29-year-old edge rusher who's coming off of meniscus surgery.
So you listed a couple of the teams. If I'm the 49ers, hey, you want our first-round pick? We'll do it. You're only getting one, though. That's it. If I'm the Lions, if I'm insert whatever team you want, cap space-wise, you got to be able to make it work, sure, because he's making $38 million next year.
So he's 38. I don't know if they would be able to I assume they'd be able to restructure and figure it out. Here are your top cap teams left, okay?
Okay, what do we got?
We've had a lot of spending.
Money to spend.
This is from most and down, okay?
Got it.
Starting with the team with the most, the Commanders.
Commie's still number one.
79.
Yep.
The Chargers have 63. This is over the cap, by the way. Titans, 53.
Mm-hmm.
Seahawks, 42.
Yeah.
Cardinals, 41. Jets, there's the Raiders. Lions, Niners, Panthers, Patriots, Colts.
And the Panthers have already spent big on an edge rusher. They gave Phillips a deal. They're not going to do it.
No.
The teams that genuinely, because I don't know why a team would be, if you're one of the teams like the Titans in there or just the teams that are perceived to be at the bottom of the league, And maybe they would say, hey, look at the NFL. The Pats were this last year, and then they were in the Super Bowl, so we can change it around quickly.
Titans have a rookie quarterback contract right now.
They do. You got a lot of money to spend, and you got a great defensive-minded head coach, and they've been aggressive on that side of the ball, so maybe they are willing to make that roll of the dice. I tend to believe that more so if I'm a team that is in the 49er, Commander, although I know the Commies were terrible last year, Detroit, like I've been in the mix, I've been in the playoffs, and I'm thinking maybe one more piece can put me over the hump. They're the ones that are going to be more aggressive in this case, but maybe that ends up being wrong, and you get one of these, like the Arizona Cardinals randomly trade 2 first-round picks for Max Crosby, and he goes to waste in Arizona.
I think the tough thing here is, like, we can just throw teams out and say, like, the Titans. I think the Titans are a good example of this, of, like, Saleh, pedigree, offensive mind and Dayball with Cam Ward now.
They've been aggressive in free agency. They spent a ton of money.
Well, I mean, they're clearly not trying to be the worst team in the NFL next year. I think you talk about teams that could be surprised. Hello, we're in the wild card picture. The Tennessee Titans, I'm looking at you. I know the division is somewhat difficult. Jacksonville appears to be pretty good.
Yeah.
And we'll see what they're going to be year 2 with Liam Cohen.
But Houston's got a question mark with Stroud, and Indy doesn't know who the other quarterback's going to be
Houston will start 2-5, and we'll say, oh, this is it. It's over. They'll go on a winning streak. They'll be right back in the thick of it. You know that's how it's going to play out.
10-7 every year.
And then the Colts. I don't know what to make of the Colts because I don't know the Daniel Jones timeline. But my overall point is, the Titans are not trying to be terrible next year. This is maybe Rob Saleh's last chance to be head coach. And everybody talks about tanking in the NFL. It's not real.
No.
You can maybe say Miami is kind of doing this stealthily, but for the most part, every team is trying to win.
I mean, they just spent a butt ton of money on a quarterback who's never played before, which I can critique, but they spent a lot of money. They're not just handing it to Quinn Ewers and saying, go run out there, kid.
They spent a lot of money on 2 quarterbacks, one of which to get the hell out of there. So
yes, they did.
A lot of these teams want to win. The Titans are an obvious one, but we have no idea who is going to emerge and what that price tag will be. I'll be fascinated to see if they get a first and a second.
Yeah, see what it ends up being.
A first and a third.
There's no chance they're getting 2 1s. Yeah, I refuse to believe that that's going to be the case based on who is left on that. But they're going to be interesting to see. If they get a first-round pick out of it, I think you can still save a little bit of face and say, all right, at least we still got a 1. You hit on that pick, you could be all right. Anything short of that, like if they don't end up getting a first-round pick out of it, which would shock me, but if that did happen, oh my God, what a disaster.
Let's talk about this. Is this the end of the road? Is this the sign that the end is here? We'll talk about that. It's a local story coming up next on The Fan. 6:47 on the Fan. We'll get to some hoops coming up here at the top of the hour. We got a lot of NFL, too. The NFL trying to take another day away from you on the calendar.
They can't keep getting away with this.
Yeah, they will.
Put them. Somebody stop them now.
My wife at one point is like, when did Tuesday Night Football become a thing? And I'll go, I don't know, like 4 years ago.
Sorry, honey, I can't do anything on Saturdays, Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays.
Today a football day?
I got Wednesday. I can do Wednesday. What do we want to do on Wednesday night? I got nothing right there.
Everything's a football day, don't you know? We'll get back into that. And we have our potential new owner. There's a story that popped up about the new owner of the Blazers, so we'll get to that as well. And the Blazers choked away a game last night. Dare I say the Blazers lost more than the Hornets won?
Yeah, fair take. Fair take.
I think that's a good take today.
Very good take.
So we'll talk about that and the big night that happened in the association. But I talk about alerting each other to news. You alerted me to something. I mean, I could not have cared less.
Oh, I wasn't watching. I don't want this to be perceived as if I was glued to this game on the edge of my couch. I just checked a score, and I had to do a double take of, wait, am I reading this correctly?
You were reading it correctly. Maryland was up at the half on your Oregon Ducks men's basketball team, 33-12.
12, yeah, 12. 1-2, 12.
Oregon played 20 minutes and made 3 shots and scored 12 points.
Yeah. You also want to know a fun anecdote of how much people care about Oregon basketball right now? Our friend Tyson Alger decided at a last whim to fly to Chicago and cover the game, which
I want to talk about this. I love Tyson. He's a friend of this program. He's always welcome. How much money did he spend to go to a trip that he knew they weren't winning that game?
No, I think it was
terrible.
Well, look, this ended up being a story. They were so bad that it almost ended up being a story.
Maybe it worked out for him.
Do you know how many people were in the press room after the game?
I know he was the only one to ask a question.
He was the only one.
There was only one.
He was the only one there.
I mean, can you fault any entity?
He sent out a tweet and he sat down. And he was like, they asked him when he sat down, like, "Hey, can you ask a lot of questions, please?" And
they asked him to ask a lot of questions.
I mean, you don't want a press conference to go, what if you only ask one question? And it's over 1 minute in.
But Altman hates those.
I know he does. But
you would think that guy would be like, yo, you got 2 questions, just ask them quick. Let's get the hell out of here.
We were down 33-12 at halftime. Hey, we scored 48 in the second half, though. Huh?
Came back.
Look at that. We're a turnaround team. Second half, back 9 player.
Well, I noticed that local scribes were down for the Oregon State WCC.
Yeah.
Is that just because it's got to be the tinkle?
The tinkle angle is getting fired. There's zero hope in anything happening related to Oregon men's basketball.
Yeah,
they were one of the worst in the Big Ten this year. They lost their first game. Like, they're not going to the tournament. They were 5-15 in conference play.
Look, I've stated pretty clearly, like, that guy got you to a Final Four. He's the greatest coach in your program's history.
Yes, he is.
You should let him make his decision. I think he has already come out and said he wants to come back. That's a game.
And Oregon, I think, has signaled the same thing,
yeah,
too. Like,
and
it's nothing's going to happen here, but we can have the conversation.
Well, that's a game that if I'm the athletic director, I have to have a real honest heart-to-heart with the boosters, the donors, and say, this is what it's been the last 3-4 years. This is how it ended this year. How are we feeling?
Yeah.
And I don't even know if you tell Dana Altman what to do or how to do it, but, like, something has got to change because I know they made the tournament last year, and we've kind of defended him in that sense.
Yeah, last 2 years they won their first game and then lost heartbreaking games in the second round, but they were at least a tournament team.
But as people pointed out, the couple years before that didn't make it, and winning one game and then being eliminated quickly doesn't really make you much of a contender.
No.
I think anything should be up in the air right now. I think you should be able to have some real honest, open conversations of how are you going to fix this.
Yeah.
You don't appear to be anywhere close to competing or contention within that conference. He doesn't like the 5-star kid. Not that he won't take him. He clearly will.
He's changing his stance a little bit because he's going after they're big game hunting a little bit more in recruiting, and I don't know if that's an NIL budget thing. Who's the kid up in Seattle that's the #1 player in the country? Do you know his name? Do you remember his name?
Oh, the kid at Rainier Beach?
Yeah, Rainier Beach.
Oh, Stokes.
Stokes, yeah. So I don't know if he signed, but Oregon.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about UW.
No. Sorry, yeah. The high school kid. So he's
kid,
number 1 kid in the country. I don't know if he's committed yet. I don't follow basketball recruiting that closely, but I know Oregon has been in the mix on him. I don't know if that's just a regional thing, a Nike thing, or what. Maybe they're spending more money in NIL.
Yeah.
There's a blend of this where
I think that's a big mistake. I'm going to give you a take.
Totally fair.
I think him going after 5 stars has proved to not be.
None of them have really done much.
I think he's just better served to find the slightly older portal kids.
Yeah.
And I know you can say, well, they portaled some of this team. How that works,
A lot
Sprague?
of this team was portaled, yeah.
Right. But they're going to have to do it again. It's
Yes,
just
they
the
will.
reality of the beast.
Every offseason.
If you can keep Shellstad, you know you got a point guard locked down.
Mm-hmm. Biddle's gone.
I think he's better served that way, to get the older player that's looking to improve his resume versus the 5-star kid who might come in and say, I don't really care about this. You got maybe the number 1 pick in the NBA draft this year is playing at one of the premier programs to ever exist, and he's like, got kind of a side ache, coach. I'm going to sit out.
My tummy hurts. I'm not playing tonight.
It's become a bit of a storyline. Remember, didn't Bol sit out a couple games? Like, he was out for a while there.
He got hurt, if I remember correctly. I think he got hurt relatively early.
I just feel like the 5-star thing has not worked for him. So I don't think you're going to take the best kid in high school basketball if you can get him.
If you can, yeah. It's just a question of, I think the tough part with this conversation is everything needs to be on the table. Like, this was a disastrous year. This is an Ernie Kent type of season. And it's fair to hold him accountable for how the hell did it get to this place? You don't have a general manager. You're in charge of putting the roster together.
That's a problem in itself,
and, like,
too.
how did you allow it to get there?
Yeah.
While simultaneously saying, what you've done the last 15 years is the best run that we've ever seen in the history of Oregon basketball. And so both those things can be true simultaneously. I think I've reached the point where Oregon is clearly, and when you dive through something, we did the segment earlier, or maybe it was late last week, I can't remember, on the finances of what they're spending and how much each program is making, because somebody put the whole graph out of what every program's bringing in and spending. And they don't invest a ton of money in basketball. They just don't.
It doesn't make them a lot of money.
No, they've made the decision of what makes us money, what generates revenue. Football. What are we going to spend all of our resources on? Football. Like, there's this idea that Oregon could go get anybody they want in basketball and recruiting because it's Oregon and it's Nike and you have Phil Knight. And that's just not the case. They don't put a ton of money and effort into this thing. And so I'll be curious if a new head coach would change that. There's certainly no fan investment in the program right now, and the games don't have any atmosphere, and that's been the case even at times when they've been successful, and that's almost a whole different conversation. I have tried to blend the two takes together because I used to laugh at the get rid of Altman crowd, but that was in the moment where he was going to the tournament more often than not and winning 20-plus games every year. The tune has changed this year. Like, this was a disastrous season from start to finish. We had somebody try and argue what were they when Shellstad played, and I went and looked, and they were a 500 team even when Shellstad was in the lineup. And so it wasn't like, hey, they were great, and then guys got hurt, and then they fell off. They weren't great to begin with.
They were never going to be a
and then they got
team,
worse. And this was supposed to be a year where you returned your two best players. Like, this was a year you went in with optimism from a tournament team last year, and you got Biddle and Shellstad back. I have reached the in-between ground of appreciative of 15 years. You don't want to fire a guy after one bad season because that's probably unfair. And I have turned my attention to next year and say, that's it. Is it another year like this? Because if it is, there is no excuse to keep him around and the game has passed him by, and this is not going to end well. If he can right the ship and say, hey, look, we messed up here, here, and here. Yeah. We're going to fix it in the offseason, and we win 23 games next year, and we're a 5 seed in the NCAA tournament, by all means, continue to let this thing go. But it has certainly entered hot seat conversation for me based on how disastrous this year was.
This will be 3 of the last 5 years of them not making the tournament. By the way, I looked it up. Ernie Kent only lost less than 12 games, or only won less than 12 one time.
Yeah. I think this is the exact record Kent had in the year he was fired, if I'm not wrong. 2009, I think he was 12-20.
He was 16-16.
Okay, 16-16.
The year before that, he was 8-23. That was his low water mark, and then he came back for the dud year, 16-16.
They're like, all right, get out of here.
Before that, he had 14 wins and 13 wins.
Mm-hmm.
He only had 1 year below 12, and that was his second to last year. So,
yeah.
I'd say most Duck fans are like, yeah, good. I'm glad this is done. I got to stop following this.
Most Duck fans weren't following and
I
didn't
agree
even
with
know
that.
the game was happening
12
yesterday.
points with 3 made field goals in the first half.
How do you make 3 shots?
Wildly bad.
You're a college basketball team. You made 3 field goals in the first half of the game.
That's so bad.
Apathy kicks in. It's not good.
Loaded second hour of the program. The Blazers choke away a game last night, and we had history made in the association. Hour number 2, during Sprague, 105.1 The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, the Blazers built an early 19-point lead over the Hornets, then fizzled out in the second half, and they fall 103-101 to Charlotte. They'll get set to host the Jazz this Friday. Tuesday night, it was all about Bam Adebayo of the Heat scoring 83 points against the Wizards, the second most in a game in league history. Miami gets the 150-129 win. Bam had 7 threes and set an NBA record, making 36 of 43 free throws. Breaking news this morning out of the NFL after the Ravens nixed the trade at the 11th hour for Max Crosby. They have reportedly agreed to a 4-year, $112 million contract with former Bengals pass rusher Trey Hendrickson. The new league year starts at 1 p.m. this afternoon. USA Baseball in danger of missing the quarterfinals of the World Baseball Classic. They lose to Italy 8-6 Tuesday, which sets up today's Mexico-Italy game. And if Mexico wins that game, the tiebreaker between those three teams will be a runs allowed divided by outs recorded. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of
hockey.
Whatever on the ring, whatever you need me to do, it don't matter.
All right, welcome back in. Hour number 2, Dirt and Sprague here, 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network. 105.1 FM, 1080 AM, the Odyssey app. Live on YouTube as well. Good morning, YouTube. We love you.
Ready.
Yep, we're ready. And also, I don't know if you know this, Dirt and Sprague is not just a live radio program. It is also a podcast.
What? We are? You can podcast the show?
You can podcast the show. You find it wherever you get your podcasts.
I was getting my hair cut last Friday, which, by the way, the person cutting my hair, it's a place I've gone before. It's, think of like typical Portland kind of people cutting your hair. I sit down in the chair. Immediately, the first thing I notice, arms go up to start buzzing. Just horrible BO. I'm like, isn't that the one thing as of somebody cutting hair that you should?
We're talking dude?
Dude.
I mean, sometimes.
You're typical Portlander, so I get it.
Maybe he had already put it on, and it was an hour, and it already had worn off, and he just wasn't as aware.
This was an 11 a.m. haircut, man. You're like, how do we not have? And then he asked what I do for work, and I said I work in radio, and he was like, you mean like a podcast? And I was like, no, like radio, dude.
I'm trying to.
That's cool. Like, yeah, it still exists.
I'm trying to set up an interview weekly for once basketball's kind of done and we get past the Masters, and I think it's an idea we've wanted to do for a while, and I've been pretty active in trying to make it happen. A person I talked with to try to get it going, I was like, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. Who do I need to talk? Who do I need to email?
Right.
And she goes, well, what do you do? And I was like, well, I do a radio show, but we thought this would be a fun idea. And I literally hear her get on the horn because she needs to contact somebody, and I hear her go, yeah, I have a guy does podcasting, and I'm like, I get it, but
no. The original White Man was free in your car, and you just turn it on, and you can listen to it anytime you want.
I literally told you I did radio.
Right there and available.
I get it. People listen to the podcast. It's great that they do. I'm very happy podcasting exists.
One of the last free forms of entertainment that you can find out there, man. You see what YouTube's doing? They're jamming more ads down our throats now. They're going to start passing down 30-second unskippable ads on almost every video if you don't buy premium.
People are getting really pissed at our YouTube because ads will be popping up on our live shows.
Well, we've hit a certain number of subscribers, and that happens when you get there.
We do love you guys out there. Thanks for hanging with us on this beautiful little hump day. Want to remind you, Fan Madness is back. You can join the Fan Thursday, March 19th, and Friday, March 20th for the 2 most exciting days of basketball. Tom's Watch Bar at A-Lene. We'll be hanging out on the 20th. The Firm, Happy Hour, and Primetime will be out there both days. all live broadcasting throughout the day. Don't miss a minute of the action. Play hooky with the Fan for Fab Madness, brought to you by A. Window Nation, George McCoy at Warren Allen, Attorneys at Law, Cricket Wireless, and video only. Again, that's March 19th and 20th. That's next week.
Right there.
It is good S right there. A lot to get to in the second hour, Andrew. It's going to be a loaded little show today.
It all of a sudden turned out to be, hey, what's going on? Oh, okay, lots to get to.
Well, we'll get to the Blazers. They obviously lost and choked away a game last night. Late game execution, not good, Bob. Can't throw the ball from out of bounds.
They had like 9 shots in a 90-second stretch inside the paint that somehow did not go in.
The Rob Will putback. How did that not go in?
What are we doing here, man?
We'll get to that. Let's kick off the second hour. Usually we do lead with the local angle here. This is deserving of not being a local angle segment. Bam Adebayo scored 83 points last night against the Washington Wizards. 83. He surpassed Kobe Bryant's 81. Yes. It's the second most points ever recorded in an NBA game. Many people still question the first, but also
this is the new NBA record.
In the modern era, this is the most.
I'm going to go reverse Aaron Judge. This is the new record, dude. Some guy in the 1950s when there were no cameras around. Get the hell out of here holding a piece of paper. That's the only piece of evidence we have. We have no idea if he scored 100.
We have a box score.
Foot and a half taller than everybody. Like, get out of here. This is your new record. Reverse Aaron Judge.
I will say the last year and a half, it's felt like I've enjoyed, even though I don't believe it, I've enjoyed the conspiracy that Wilt didn't actually score 100, that they just made it up. That they didn't know how many he had, so they were like, dude, it felt like you scored 100. You're like,
somebody said it after the game. It's like a nickname that sticks. They call him Mr. October. All of a sudden, that's your name the rest of your life. Yeah, he scored 100. He's Mr. 100. All right, there you go. Give him 100 points last night.
But Bam Adebayo scoring 83. And look, the conversation's going a lot of ways, but we need to start and address the elephant in the room here.
This is one of the funniest stories in the history of sports. Absolutely hilarious.
Just in total?
Just in total, dude. You had, of all the people, how many names?
Yeah.
If I would have said to you at 9:40, hey, final segment, what are we watching tonight? You're like, hey, I'm excited for the NBA. And I threw, you know what, Sprague, random question. Who is the most likely person to score 80 points in the NBA tonight? And you started listing off names.
Let me go through that real quick.
How many names would you list before you got to Bam Adebayo? Okay. Because I did not know that this was happening. You sent me a text saying, are we going to poo-poo 83 points tomorrow? And I looked at it like I was just like I saw a dead body. Like, I'm just staring at my phone. Like, did he just text me that Bam Adebayo scored 83 points? And indeed, then I open up the highlights and I'm like, oh my God, he scored 83.
So to go through the roster of last night's games, I would just tell you, there's quite a few players like Victor played last night.
Number 1 on the list.
Jaylen Brown played last night.
Top 5 on the list. Con Knipple played last night. I'd take him over Bam Adebayo.
Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves played last night.
They were involved.
I'll give you another one. There are 2 players on his own team
that I would probably pick before him.
Guest scored 83.
Yes.
And that would be Tyler Hero and Norm Powell, which, by the way, I don't think Norm Powell played in this game because he interviewed Bam in the postgame.
Bam's going to be chucking then. If we don't got Norm Powell out here, I'm chucking.
So Bam scores 31 in the first quarter.
Yes, they had 40-something as a team, I think, right? 40 as a team. He had 31 of the 40.
His season high for the year was 32.
Is this the Cal Raleigh of home runs? 31, 31, 31, 29, 31, 60.
For the season it was. His high was 32 for the year. He had 31 in the first quarter.
How?
He had 43 at halftime.
Yes, he did.
And that's when everybody, I think, that was watching or following the league that night, home or working, was like, oh, God.
If I had been on and seen that this was, I would have turned the game on. I just was not plugged in. I was watching the baseball game. I had other stuff going on, and I had no clue that this was in action. I wasn't on social media.
I had my last basketball practice going on, so I was getting like NBA app alerts, and I'm like, what?
Wait, what?
What?
Come again?
And so he goes into the fourth quarter with 62 points. And by the way, they're up 20. The Wizards are openly bad.
Yes.
They're tanking. They're trying to lose. And this is when it starts to get into the unnecessary debate. And we'll get to that, but I actually want to remind myself, you said when Devin Booker scored 70 against the Celtics years ago, the tanking Suns.
Yes.
He scored 70 in a game. You hopped on the air and you absolutely poo-pooed it.
Yeah, who cares?
And it's still one of the more shocking things that has happened. And then what was even more shocking was how many people were texting in.
Like, I don't care.
Dirt's right. Dirt's right. I'm like,
matter.
It's 70 points.
Yeah. How many guys in the history league have scored 70?
I think 4. Isn't it Wilt, Kobe, Bam, Dame, and Devin? Is it 5?
Is that it? Has anybody else got there? Let me see.
If I'm omitting one, let me know. I think it's 5 now.
So points. No, a little bit longer
11.
than that. Yeah,
11. Okay.
No, it's more than that. More at 70 or more.
There's 16 70-plus point
touche.
games.
Yeah, Wilt has done it
like
multiple.
5 of them.
No, you got Devin.
Players.
So Wilt,
Yep.
Devin Booker, Joel Embiid.
Oh, Embiid. I forgot about that game.
Elgin Baylor.
Elgin, okay.
David Robinson.
Oh, that's right. The scoring title.
Donovan Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
Damian Lillard. David Thompson. Luka Doncic.
I don't remember the Luka one.
Kobe Bryant. Bam Adebayo.
Is it crazy? I don't remember the Luka one. Do you remember that one?
That was it. No, I don't remember that game at all. 2024, January 26th of 2024. He went for 70.
Why do I not
against the
remember that
Atlanta Hawks? They won 148, 143.
That's weird that one totally not
he went
in my
for
brain.
73.
He was 25 of 33 from the floor, 8 of 13 from 3, 15 of 16 from the free throw line.
Dude, of all the 70-point games, it's crazy that Luka's, to me, is the one I don't remember.
That was previously the 4th highest total in history of the league.
Okay, so we need your
expertise take here. Look, they made an absolute mockery of basketball last night, and it's okay to say that. Can we acknowledge that before we give away any other takes?
Just give me your take. We'll get into the ethical part of this, because that's become the conversation now. It's not celebration. It's what is ethical and not ethical.
Sure. I will never view this game the way that I view some of these other games, right? Like, I don't know if you were watching last night for the Blazer game, but they had Lillard was on the broadcast for the entire third quarter.
I caught some of it, yeah.
And it was fantastic. And he was the perfect guy to have on this night. One, because he's friends with Bam.
Yeah, he played with him.
And two, he's got one of the 70-point games. And so they started getting into, like, once he got through all the, like, hey, we're going to win a championship next year stuff with the roster, they got into the idea of his 71-point game and what went into it and regrets or, the feeling of what it's like to play in a game like that, because this was happening around the NBA. And he told a hilarious story, and I was laughing my ass off watching it, about how he regrets not doing this. He was like, I tried to do it the right way, and there were moments in the game when they're like throwing 3 defenders at me, and I'm just like making the right basketball play. And he said, I wish that I would have just started chucking. He said he went the first 6 minutes of the third quarter. That night he scored 70+. The first 6 minutes of the third quarter, he didn't attempt a field goal because they were triple teaming him every time he touched the ball, and he was just moving it. He was like, I felt great. I got hot again at the end of the third. I probably would have made it from anywhere on the floor. I didn't want it to be like this spectacle where I'm just chucking it from half court every time. And it was hilarious to hear him talk about how he genuinely wished he would have done this, because how often do you get a night when you're going for 60 or 70+? And when you do, you might as well try and squeeze every ounce you can out of it, especially when you're up by 30 points in the game. I don't know if I'll view it because of the free throw total the way that I view the Kobe game, or hell, that Luka Doncic game that I also forgot about. Now I remembered. Incredibly efficient. He took the same number of threes Bam did last night. The Dame did, I believe. I think Dame took 22 in the game that he scored 71. Bam took 22 last night. Some of the other numbers behind it that just blew me away. 83 points, obviously, second most. 36 made free throws is the most in NBA history. But anybody got to touch that record? 43 attempts is the most in NBA history. And the 22 three-point attempts are tied for the third most in a game in NBA history. And so they just came out with a thought of, like, let's let this guy chuck and see where it goes. And it was a phenomenal spectacle and great for the NBA. But will I view it the way I view some of the other 70-plus games? I don't know.
Well, it's not a 70-plus game. It's an 80-plus game.
It's an 80-plus game, sure. I think all of those are kind of bunched in. Like, 70 is the breaking point of elite. It's like 60-plus home runs.
Yeah.
I
have
get
to
it.
separate it.
Okay.
It's just different.
He scored 83.
It's insane.
It is. This is the only takeaway I had.
So it's compared to the Booker take you had of, like, who cares?
I mean, 83.
Basically your takeaway.
83, you have to care. I'm not saying who cares, but I'm also like, this is also a joke. But I'm not mad at the joke. I'm not mad at the joke because let me say this.
Yeah.
Of all the coverage the NBA has gotten, the majority of it is like load managing, tanking, why are teams purposely losing, nobody cares, shorten the regular season. This was a random night on a Tuesday where everybody was talking about one game and one player that nobody was watching because it's the Wizards and it's not on national television. So it's only on, unless you have League Pass and you can watch it. The NBA needs to do this more often. You need to find a team playing a tanking team. Like, you're purposely losing games. All right, we're going to put on a show. Every time down, you go shoot. Like, how many guys in the league are capable of doing this if they take 43 shots in a game?
It's a very fair thing to throw out and say.
Just once a year, pick a random guy. Victor, next year, you get it. In the middle
Victor,
of
we need you to shoot 40
Wednesday
tonight.
in January,
Shoot
you're playing the Kings are the worst team in the NBA. You're going to win by 50. Just shoot it every time you touch it. See where the night goes from here.
The 43 free throw attempts, by the way, Have the Blazers even come close to shooting 43 free throws in a game?
I'll try
as a team?
Yeah.
Like, what's the most free throws the Blazers have attempted in a game this season?
I'll see if I can find that.
We'll look that up, and then also let's talk about the other side of this, because in natural NBA fashion, I'm glad you pointed it. It's always, this sucks, this is not good, this needs to be fixed, they need to be better at this. And this dude drops 83 yesterday. And you're like, man, what a cool moment. Like, how crazy and random is this? I don't think this guy's going to score 60 in a game the rest of his career.
Right.
And he did it. What did it turn into? It turned into, is this ethical?
I mean, they were fouling up 20.
I want to talk about this. We're talking about this. We're gonna carry this over. We'll get to the Blazers choking away a game against the mighty Hornets yesterday. But we'll carry this over. The ethical nature in which Bam Adebayo scored 83 points. We'll get to that coming up next on The Fan.
80 a.m.
The Blazers choke away a game against the Hornets last night, led by 19, and they fall.
Yeah, the only highlight of the night was Dame on the broadcast for the third quarter.
Yeah, I had it on the TV, but I didn't have it turned up.
Yeah,
so I saw him on the broadcast, and then I didn't even put it together that Bam was doing what Bam did.
Right.
And him having him talk about it. I saw some of the reaction from his college teammate, like Adrian Fox was like, "Oh, I'm pissed. He scored more than me in a game. Happy for him, though." Like a lot of people just commenting on how amazing it was that Bam Adebayo scored 83 points. Like
Dame mocked him, too. He said when they got on Team USA, they were warming up before one of their first games, and Bam was like, "I think I could go for 30." And Dame said he laughed at him. He was like, "You think you could score 30 on a regular basis?" He's like, "You're not a scorer, though." He's like, "Up."
If I'm Bam,
everybody's
find that
giving
tape.
Asia credit for this. Of like, he must be cooking in the gym with her in his spare time. She's got his offensive game down.
Well, she had a similar take to Fox. She was like, "Well, now I guess I don't have the highest point total in a game in the house anymore."
You better go score 85 in a game. Test is on you.
So, some of this stuff is stupid to me, but of course it naturally folds into ethical, non-ethical. By the way, they announced it at Crypto Arena last night.
Which is where the Lakers play.
You know, the traditional PA announcer guy in his voice, and he's going through the scores, and he says the score of the Miami Heat game, and he goes, "Bam Adebayo, 83 points." The whole arena just boos, going crazy with the boos on it.
Sorry, Kobe.
Well, that's the thing is this has turned into now Kobe stands losing their minds and crying because Bam Adebayo has passed him in point total. And look, the ethical, non-ethical nature. Let me just say this because I know what you're going to point to. It's pretty obvious, right?
It's a mockery of basketball. Still awesome, though.
Okay. Mockery of basketball.
They were up by 20 points in the fourth quarter, purposely fouling the Washington Wizards to get more possessions.
Whether you believe Wilt scored 100 or not, I don't really care. It is well documented in that game. Philly literally let the Knicks get a layup just so they could go back and let him get the ball.
Yeah, they were doing the same thing.
They were doing the same thing. Yeah. And by the way, I went and looked up Kobe's game, his 81. Do you remember, by the way, how good Toronto was in 06?
Probably bad. I have no clue.
When they played that night, Toronto came in with a 14-26 record.
I saw there was.
They were terrible that
Charlie
year.
Villanueva was doing a podcast talking about that night. He was like, we came into the game saying, let's let Kobe get his and not let anybody else get off. And after the first quarter, they were like, we might need to adjust this.
Well, they were up 18 in the game. They ended up losing by 18 points. And a lot of that is from Kobe. Kobe, by the way, in the fourth quarter, 28 points.
It's a lot of points in the court. I mean, we're free throws.
Here's my thing. You're going to point to the fouling intentionally with 2 and some change left, and I get it. That's totally fair to say this. All of this is kind of stupid for this reason. You cannot score 75 or more without it being somewhat unethical, if you want to define it by ethical, non-ethical.
Totally fair.
It's impossible. Go look at the fourth quarter splits.
Fair.
They looked up Kobe's point total going into the fourth. Guess who just fired every shot for the Lakers in the fourth quarter? Kobe.
Every shot.
Kobe ended his career scoring 60 on 50 attempts. Was that ethical?
No,
but we loved it. It was fun. It was a memory.
And this is where I think both sides are right. Like, it's not ethical. It was awesome. I have no issue with it, but it's also like when you're up by 20 points, purposely fouling the other team to get the ball back with 2 minutes to go in the game. The Wizards got so pissed that they were purposely fouling other Heat players the second they touched the ball, just so Bam couldn't take a shot. And then the Heat players were purposely missing free throws in order to get another offensive possession.
They were.
All that being said, I do this every month.
The
NBA needs this like every other Tuesday. Have a guy try this and see how many points they could put up because I would watch.
So here's my only counter to this. I'm not mad at the take. Like, have a guy just his entire goal for the league should be you mandated.
How many could Wemby get if he's serious? Like every time down the floor, you're shooting the ball,
and he's kind of foul hunting a little bit, but
you're
he's
going
getting
to the
fouled.
hoop.
To Bam's point,
yes.
I would assume he could do the same thing, but I also think this is incredibly more difficult than we're giving it credit.
Yeah, it's the idea of because there's a bit of a mockery here that's the only reason he did it, and that's just not true.
No.
He came out and was hot in the first quarter, and he just decided, look, we're playing a tanking team. We have nothing really going on. Like, where's Miami in the standings right now in the Eastern Conference? Are they in the play-in?
They're battling up, actually. They're
okay, so they're climbing a little bit. So
yeah.
they're fine. You're playing a team that's purposely trying to lose. Like, hey, you just had 30 in the first quarter. Go chuck. You got a heater? Ride it out.
Well, I'm glad Dame was at least honest on the broadcast about he wishes he would have been
it was hilarious.
More of a chucker.
Yeah, because he just said you never know when you're going to get that chance and be in a zone like that and have the ability to push it. And he said, I look back now and I wish that I would have tried for 90 points in the game. They not only did he not take a shot the first 6 minutes of the third quarter, they were up big in the game, remember, because they were playing the tanking Houston Rockets when they won, and Houston was terrible at the time. And they sat Dame in the final minutes of the game. They took him out of the game.
So can you help me find this? I think this is what's the game with McCollum against, I think it was the Bulls. Was it 62 at the end of 3?
He had one where he had 60-plus at the end of 3, I believe, and they sat him because it was a wide margin. And everybody after the game was like, dude.
I was outraged.
What?
We did a show the next day, and I remember watching it live and then carrying over the feeling. And it's probably the most unforgivable thing Terry Stotts ever did in his tenure for me as a Blazer.
Let a guy go. See how many he can get.
You have to let a guy cook if he's cooking. And I remember, I think, because the Bulls weren't very good, and they were up, I think, 20 or something. I'm trying to find the box score.
I got it here. He scored 50. He had 50 at the end of the third quarter.
Yes.
He also had a 50-point game in New Orleans, by the way. Last year? He had a 50-point game last year?
I think I remember that.
Against Washington?
Vaguely, yeah.
Yes, in the
against
game.
Washington.
So they were up. They outscored them 43-19 in the first quarter, 25-24 in the second, 35-31. So you do the math. You're up by 20-plus points going into the fourth quarter.
And he had 50, and he's red hot.
He had 50 at the end of 3.
You got to go for it.
And they did not play him in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I was pissed.
He attempted, I'm going to see, 20. It was 18 of 25 from the floor, 6 of 9 from 3, 8 of 8 from the free throw line. So he scored 50 points on 25 shots.
I remember feeling like if he played, he could have got a minimum of 70 in that game because he wasn't missing.
Yes, they were 29-22 at the time. The Bulls were 18-33.
18, that's right. 18.
They were a bad team. Yeah. The Blazers were a playoff team that year, and they just decided to call it off. And I'm with you. We had the same takeaway after the game. So in the face of the ethical argument, when it doesn't happen, you're like, why weren't you a little unethical here? Why didn't you roll around in the mud with the pigs, man?
I think butthurt Kobe fans today.
Yeah.
Are realistically the only people crying about what's ethical or not ethical. It's a fun moment.
Yes.
It's one of the more random. You'd have to really think about this in all of them. Like, try to give me what's the most random player that holds a record of note like this in baseball, football, hockey. You'd have
Hockey's
to really.
going to be really tough to figure out, but I'm sure there's one.
But think about baseball and football. If you just want to hold it to the 3, like, what is the random player that holds the award that you go, I can't believe that guy has that record, because this is the modern-day record, and it's Bam Adebayo.
Right.
So, to me, the whole ethical it's just silliness being brought up by butthurt Kobe fans who are angry that their basketball god no longer holds the modern-day record.
You're not wrong.
Bam going for 83 was always going to be – any player scoring 80, it was going to be somewhat unethical if you want to abide by that rule.
Yeah.
But I'm also with you of a player should be mandated to have to do this once a month, shoot 43 times.
Just try, go for it, man.
I love it.
Look, it'll never come out because it didn't happen. Adam Silver coordinating this would have been one of the most brilliant moves he could ever do. Call up the officials of like, hey, let's be a little aggressive on the whistle tonight.
They really fouled them, though, to be fair.
Why don't we shoot a lot of shots tonight? And we're going to get some great PR out of it. And people will be debating the NBA the next day. It'll be the top story.
There were beat people like, no, like these weren't like soft-ass calls. He was like legitimately being pushed around by the Wizards.
Like for because it was a bit of a mockery when you're fouling up by 20 late in the game, right? And you're purposely missing free throws for more possessions. Like that kind of stuff is laughable.
But you're going for history. Like when does the ethical, non-ethical thing die and you just say, no, the guy's going for history here.
Yeah.
Wilt and his team just allowed
if he even did it in the first place.
layups so they could get it back so he could try to go for the hundo. Like, when you get to a certain point, I don't have ethics. You're the Wizards. You deserve to suck
that was
and
my
be scored
point.
83 points on.
The other team is purposely trying to lose games.
Right.
So
their entire existence is unethical.
I don't care.
I'm with you.
What you're doing is not ethical in the first place. You're trying to cheat the lottery system in order to get ping pong balls to get a player, which I don't knock the strategy, just like I'm not going to knock the strategy here. You get a guy that's got a chance for an all-time record, what the hell, man? Let it fly. See how far you can push it.
Go break the record. And
this is Kramer and the guy from the car dealership with the empty gas tank. How far can we go until the car won't go? Just keep going, man. Let's keep going back on the exit. Let's go.
All right. Bam Adebayo scores 83 points. Just a hell of a performance last night in the association. The Blazers chuck away a game against the Hornets at home. We'll get to that coming up next. But first, Swag with the Sports Update.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Blazers go cold in the fourth quarter after leading the Hornets most of the first three. Couldn't convert late, and Charlotte escapes Moda Center with a 103-101 victory. Portland will host the Jazz this Friday. Bam Adebayo, the third player in NBA history to score 80 or more in a game. He had 83, surpassing Kobe Bryant, leading Miami to a 150-129 win over the Wizards. Bam hit 7 threes, set an NBA record, making 36 of 43 free throws. Breaking news this morning from the Baltimore Ravens after they nixed the Max Crosby trade Tuesday due to concerns over the results of his physical. They have reportedly agreed to a 4-year, $112 million contract with former Bengals pass rusher Trey Hendrickson. The new league year starts at 1 p.m. this afternoon when all these free agent deals and trades can officially be consummated. The Oregon Ducks men's basketball season ended Tuesday with a 70-60 loss to Maryland in the first round of the Big Ten tournament. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the Fan. 1080 AM.
We're probably going to have to revisit Bam. I just got sent an audio clip of Sam Mitchell, former Raptor coach, on the Toronto Sports Network sipping champagne like he's a Miami Dolphin celebrating the end of an undefeated team.
I'm not the coach that gave up the second most points in NBA history anymore, man. Time to celebrate.
I also saw a funny point of Ice Cube's son is on social media claiming a conspiracy that Adam Silver wanted Bam Adebayo on a regionally televised game with the Heat and Wizards to break Kobe's record on a random Tuesday. Stan culture is pathetic.
Yes.
And I'm with him 100%.
Is.
Kobe's was not on national television.
No.
Dame's wasn't on national television.
The Rockets stunk. Usually you get a bad team involved in this, and if there's a bad team involved in this, you're not going to be on national television.
Yeah.
I don't care how good you are. People are texting him, by the way, on other records. It's hard to come up with one that kind of matches this and where it falls in.
Well,
but in terms of the ethical nature of it, a lot of people are bringing up the Michael Strahan sack record and how Favre
just laying down.
He just laid down.
Yeah.
And gave it to him.
My thing is I don't know if I'd separate those records, but I feel like I am. And there's no doubt that's a good comp of unethical, ethical, all that stuff. I'm thinking more along the lines of, and I mean no disrespect here, I don't want to catch a random Yankee stray. To me, as a kid, this is like only hearing about Babe Ruth my whole life and then finding out Roger Maris actually is the home run record holder.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not the Sultan of the Swamp, though.
He's not the Colossus of Clout.
He's not the Great Bambino.
No. He's not the Babe. I thought it would be the Babe.
Yeah, you do learn that when everybody talks about Babe Ruth, and you're like, wait a minute, who had more? Oh, Roger Maris passed him. Also, talk about controversial at the time. Very controversial. His own fan base was rooting against him to the point that
they went and wanted
his
him to own
hair
it.
was falling out. He was so stressed. He thought he was going to die, and there were more games involved. This isn't ethical. We've always done this whenever a moment like this
Roger Maris is the Bam Adebayo of baseball.
One listener said, I don't know if it's true, but I'm going to believe him. He said his previous career high was 41 points.
Yeah, his season high was 32. 40. If you tell me that's what his career high is, it's not shocking.
To the point of letting guys do this, and this was the one. Victor was the first guy I thought of last night. If you told me going into the game, Victor, I don't care who they're playing, Victor's going to try a night like this, I would sit down and watch every second of it to see how far he could push it. And one listener pointed out, imagine Prime Curry putting up 43s in a game. I would watch how many can he score? How many is he going to make? If he gets a night where he's on and you're just dude, just over half court, fire away. See how many go in a night. I would be glued to that for 4 quarters.
Here's a really stupid idea that the league will never do. What if we took your idea and said, hey, this really good player is playing a very bad team, and the league is mandating him shoot 40 shots or more?
Mandated to shoot it every time.
If I give you an alert on the morning of a game day, and I say, Curry has drawn the 40-point shot game.
He's the tribute for tonight.
It is a league pass game.
Yeah.
You can pay $3 to watch it.
I would pay $3 to watch it.
How
5,
much?
10, probably 10 would be my cap.
Okay, but Curry has to attempt 43
He has
in a
to.
game.
If he shoots less than 40, I get my money back. But if he shoots more than 40, I will gladly pay $10 to watch that game. Are you kidding me? It would be incredible. It's like having the ability to get Shohei Ohtani 13 at-bats in a game. How many home runs can he hit?
Right.
I want to see. Yeah. But you can't do that because you can't manufacture the lineup. In the NBA, you can shoot it every time you touch the ball. I tell my niece to do that all the time. She doesn't listen to me.
Andrew Brandt's going to join us at 8:30. We'll dive back into some NFL at some point. Trey Hendrickson's a Raven. Good morning. Hello. Yes, Max Crosby's a Raider again.
Yeah, that happened.
All that went down last night and early this morning. So we'll talk with Andrew Brandt coming up of MMQB at 8:30. He'll join us in the third hour of the radio program. It's a Starter Story Wednesday as well, so we'll get to that in the 9 a.m. hour.
Somebody's trying to submit Nick Foles' touchdown-to-interception ratio as a random outlier.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
27-2. I don't know if that's still the best ratio. Let me see. Because Rodgers had a year in there where he was 40 touchdowns and 3 picks, I think. In a season, Rodgers is now number 1.
Because he had what was it, 40 and 3?
Yeah, dude, he was. Or is this career? No, this is career. Hold on, I got to look at season. Let me try and.
He had a season like what you're suggesting. I remember that.
Yes,
he won the MVP.
He won the MVP that year. Tom Brady ended up being number. So Foles did his in. Okay, so Foles did it in 2013. He had 27 touchdowns and 2 picks. Brady topped that in 2016. He had 28 touchdowns and 2 picks.
There you go.
Rodgers' season was a 25-2 in there. He had a 48-5, a 37-4, but ratio-wise, Foles is now second in NFL history.
48-5 is so insane to think about in a season for a quarterback.
And then they lost a home playoff game.
But Nick Foles is exactly what I'm talking about here. I think Bam is a little higher elevated in the league in terms of reputation than Nick Foles as a quarterback, but that's a perfect comp.
The rest of the names on this
about.
list, for guys who played a full season, right? There's like Josh McCown in 2013 in 8 games was 13-1. That's no count.
I'm not counting that.
For full seasons, here are your names. Tom Brady, Nick Foles, Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Delhomme, Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers, you go on and on.
You've proven your point there.
Bit of an outlier there.
Team USA is on the brink of elimination as well, so we'll get to that. The Blazers choked away a game last night, and we have news on the owner. Tom Dundon was in the news.
This randomly came across thanks to a listener, and I thought, wait, I had not seen that story at all.
I think it's a pretty big deal, so we'll bring that up. But the Blazers choking last night against the Hornets, man. Just a 19-point lead evaporating in the second half. Real big fourth-quarter run and push by the Hornets. And some of the worst late-game stuff you can imagine. I mean, Toumani Camara throwing a pass from the side out to the baseline out without anybody touching it is beyond ridiculous.
Some of the late-game execution is the worst I've seen in a long time in that game. Not to mention, I mean, the out-of-bounds pass was egregious. You can't even inbounds a basketball when you have a chance to try and tie the game or take the lead. But then on top of that, having the moment, I thought Lamar Hurd correctly pointed out, after they overturned the Robert Williams call on the foul at Knipple and you got a jump ball, he was sitting there on the broadcast table saying, all right, there's 38 seconds left. You have a great chance down by 2 for a 2-for-1. If you win the jump ball, he's going over the scenario. They win the jump ball and they dribble it out for 15 seconds.
Yeah, they did.
And then you end up throwing the ball out of
bounds.
It's like, oh, all right. Got it.
You have a guy literally just wants to run downhill with the basketball and try to get free throws or a layup, and they kill 15 seconds on a 38-second clock.
Not good, Bob. Also, can we talk about LaMelo Ball's shooting motion? I know that
it's pretty ugly.
I've seen it, and every time I see it, I'm like, God, that's funny looking. But he's good. He's a hell of a player.
Yeah.
It's just a funny-looking motion.
Diabate ran Klingon off the court a couple times.
He did. Pretty athletic.
Talk about that?
We can talk about that.
That's kind of concerning, is watching kind of slimmer, quicker bigs run our guy off the court.
Scoot had another decent night in the first half especially, and then they didn't play him in the final 7 minutes of the game, sans garbage time when the game was over.
That was interesting.
You know, why see what you got there? You know, why put him out there in the fourth quarter?
I would hate evaluating Scoot's season. I would just hate it. I'd put me
first half. He was he was awesome.
I know, he was
on
track for another great game.
On track for another great game, and then he basically didn't play in the second half.
We'll carry that over. We'll talk about the Blazers choking away a game against the Hornets at home, and also Tom Dundon is in the news for a reason that should draw a lot of attention. We'll get to that coming up next on The Fan.
It's time for Who's Stinking It Up.
Woo! Do not go in there.
A sports lowlight, ripped from the headlines.
We couldn't do diddly poo.
Brought to you by Three Mountains Home Services. Schedule your appointment online at threemountainshomservices.com.
Really disappointed in the way we started the game, obviously. My job to have them ready to play, and that first half was awful.
There's Dana Altman. Only person asking him questions last night was Tyson Alger of the I-5 corridor. Look, the Ducks stunk it up. They were 3 for 22. I'm going to defend Dana Altman here, somebody who likes to coach. You don't draw up on the whiteboard, suck and miss all your shots, guys. Let's go out.
Miss again.
I appreciate him taking the onus because he's paid a lot of money.
Yeah, you have to.
That's how people view it, but that's not what you draw up on the whiteboard.
No, the main problem was he brought in a roster that is not competitive, and that was their issue all season, and it culminated in a forgettable game that no Duck fan watched, cared about, or followed, and the season is mercifully over.
Yes, it is. Who's stinking it up? Oregon men's basketball all year long, including yesterday against Maryland. Brought to you by our friends at Three Mountains Home Services. Our friends at Three Mountains Home Services have a sweet special this March. Purchase a new high-efficiency HVAC system and score 16 parts and labor warranty. 16 seasons of comfort starts now. Visit threemountainshomservices.com today.
a.m.
Well, I think you can guess where Chris Russo finds himself on the Bam Adebayo 83-point game.
I mean, he's the guy who thinks Bob Cousy's the best point guard in the history of the league, so I'm not surprised he's not giving a lot of credit to Bam out of this one.
Yeah. We'll get back. We got some audio we want to bring back. We didn't pull for the conversation that we had on Bam's ethical, non-ethical. Hey, he scored 83 points in a game. So we'll get to that audio. We'll bring you the Mad Dog rant. We got Sam Mitchell toasting in the Toronto Sports Network television studios. We'll talk with Andrew Brandt coming up in the third hour of the program. We got NFL we'll talk about. We broke the news of Trey Hendrickson. And we talked about Max Crosby along with kind of everything else as well so far. But the Blazers lose last night. They blew a 19-point lead to the Hornets, man.
Yes, they did, Bob. That one was not fun.
You know, if you want to talk about what's ethical and not ethical, I'll say this. I think this team is going to lose their first play-in game. I don't think they're going to win. And I don't think that's much of a take. But I will say, if ethics existed, the Portland Trailblazers would be rewarded with a top 3 pick for ethically trying to win and stay in the play-in,
right?
But still finding ways because they're not very good
to gack games away
to
late.
lose games late the way they did in that fourth quarter, being outscored.
They had 19 points in the fourth quarter.
It was terrible.
19 points.
They had 34 in the first, 21 in the second, 27 in the third, and 19 in the fourth. They would be rewarded, and that's why I laugh at what's ethical, non-ethical. The odds say they're not going to get a top 3 pick. They're going to lose the play-in, and they'll finish with like the 11th pick in the draft again, and we'll go, who are they going to get? What point guard are they going to draft?
Randomly, if you want some good news, or maybe it's not good news, Blazer fans, I don't know. Last night, out of nowhere, I had a dream that the Blazers got the 3rd pick in the lottery.
Really?
I don't know why I was dreaming about that.
Did it say who we got?
No, it was lottery night.
Had 40 last night.
So it was lottery night, not draft night. It was finding out where we were going to be picking, and it was like, oh, my God, and we were going crazy. And so I don't know why that was in my dreams. Maybe I needed that to rinse the palate of watching them blow a 19-point lead to a team who's been a laughingstock in the Eastern Conference my entire life, sans maybe 2 years, who is now significantly better than us and has a bright future and hit on 3 lottery picks and seems to be going in the right direction while we're stuck in the same spot we've been in, playing veterans, unable to beat that team on our home floor, leading by 19 in the first half. Some of that end of the game execution and offensive basketball is just horrible to watch. It's one thing to have guys out there who are young and going through these moments in the first time in their careers have possessions and plays like that. It's another to have it be Jeremy Grant and Kamara, who's played a lot of basketball.
Dude, Kamara drives me crazy.
He was really bad last night.
He was so bad.
He took 12 threes. Talk about chucking. He took 12 threes and couldn't hit the broadside of a barn for the majority of the night. One of your final offensive possessions is Jeremy Grant wildly just throwing his body at the hoop into Con Knippel.
Right at Con Knippel.
In the most obvious charge call we've ever seen, going the other way of like, you think you're going to jump over him and dunk? What was the goal there when you left your feet? You've been in the NBA for 10 years. You think you could jump over a guy like that? They had multiple possessions in a row where it felt like had 5 straight shots inside the paint, and they just, Avdia and Robert Williams and whoever else was in there could not find a way for the ball to go in. That was one that, look, we all feel the way we feel about the season. The outcome of that game is not going to change the way I view it. Mm-hmm. But they have had a little bit of this, like, they're beating up on bad teams, losing to good teams. Charlotte is one of these weird tweeners where they have the ability to be good, but they're also a 500 team this year. That's just been really hot for the last month. You led by 19. That would have been a nice sort of like, hey, look at that. Denny's back. Look at that. Nice little win. And you gacked it away, and you couldn't even inbound the basketball at the end of the game. And it was just a ridiculously brutal loss, especially playing veterans and not young guys late because they didn't even get the experience out of it.
Jeremy, 35 minutes. Denny, 34, back from his injury. Drew, 32. Donovan, 26. Scoot, 19.
Yeah, 19 minutes.
I think Scoot did he have 14 at the half?
I want to say it was somewhere in that range.
Yeah, he did because he hit the 3 at the very end.
He was like 4 of 5 from the floor and 3 of 4 from 3 in the first half.
And then just
didn't play in the second half. So that's cool.
Yeah, but Chris Murray, 0 points in 13 minutes. So I don't really have much to add.
V. Krejci, by the way, has done literally nothing. I mean, I know it's not that big of a sample size.
Good contract, though.
Good contract.
Great contract. You pay him almost nothing to do nothing.
Literally nothing.
This was in the news. This came out like a week plus ago, and I want to thank a listener for this. I just missed this. It's Blazer related. The Hurricanes owner, Tom Dundon, soon to be Blazer owner, he reached an agreement to sell 12.5% of his team at $2.66 billion valuation.
Yes.
What do we make of that?
Well, a couple of questions out of this. So I don't know off the top of my head, I don't know if you guys do, what percentage he owned of.
I thought it was 40 or 50, somewhere around there.
Isn't it? Doesn't he have
So
to
he
be
was
higher than that?
sub-50?
He's not a
Maybe
majority
more.
owner?
Yeah,
I guess you got to be over 50.
To be majority. He's a majority owner. I just
he
didn't know how high it
announced he was going to do this several months ago.
Okay, I didn't know that was the case.
Yeah, he had announced he was putting a share of it up for sale, and I think this is just he found a buyer.
Is this part of where the Blazer money comes from then?
I think so.
Okay.
I think he needed to put together some more cash, but he had announced he was doing this, or the team was doing this a couple of months ago.
He bought the team entirely in 2018 for $420 million.
And I think he's sold so he owns, according to Google, he owns 88% of the team, so I don't know if he sold little slivers of it for
12.5%.
Well, this says as of March 5th, so maybe.
That was the day it came out.
Touche.
Yeah,
this story's a week old.
Yeah.
Thank you for the correction, sir. Because I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, okay, so 100% down to 88%, and the valuation of it. Now, this still has to go through because it's a valuation of what the franchise is worth, and they're claiming $2.66 billion. 12.5% of that, give or take, is roughly around $330 million. So. My guess is, that he's using this as a part of his purchase of the Blazers and that he's going to have to relent a little bit of the percentage of the Hurricanes, but owning 88% of the team is still you're basically the sole voice. You just got to send an email before you make an executive decision.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about when he comes in, and I know we're still maybe a few months away from all of that kind of stuff starting to unravel a little bit, but
sounds like it'll be approved at the end of March, right?
That was kind of the target date by a lot of people.
Is that when the next owners or governors meeting is?
I don't know.
Because they have to do the vote.
My whole thing on this with him is like I'm super excited to see what he's going to be as an owner. I'm not somebody that fears having a new owner. This team has done nothing in 5 years.
No.
What are we not going to make the playoffs? We're already there.
Can't get any worse.
So for me, it's not about like being scared of him making changes. It's about what kind of changes will he make right away versus slow play. It looks like this legislation is going to pass through every level of government here, so he's going to get money
state
to help
level,
renovate.
Check the box. Now you got to go to the city and the county, and they got to do the same as well.
And the amount of money allotted for them, by the way, any cent above the dollar amount they're giving, he has to cover.
Yeah.
So if the construction becomes way more expensive, he's the one that's going to have to cover that. But he's also not cash rich the way some of the other owners are.
No.
But also the best team in the league right now is run by one of the least richest owners in the entire league in the Thunder. So it's not that you can't be good. It's more like how you operate in the NBA. I know he's got the Panda Express family tied in with the ownership group amongst many others here locally. It's more about just how they operate financially in a league that's very expensive.
And it's also the idea of like to your point, what is the offseason going to look like? And how aggressive are you going to be right out of the gate? Because I will tell you this, and I don't want to be too knee-jerk from a reaction of one game, but I felt this way for a while. If we get another offseason of kicking the can down the road and it's largely the same roster, like even re-signing Robert Williams and everybody's Dame and Drew as your starting backcourt and Scoot and Shaden are coming off the bench, like if there's not a
You mean next year?
Yes.
You're not. You have to prepare yourself for that. I would not be shocked
I'm saying
at all.
I'm already preparing myself for it, but this is where my question comes in on a new owner. Like, is he going to allow them to do that one off season, or is this coming in saying, why the hell would we run it back? We have not made the playoffs in however many years. You're not winning the play-in this year. Can't even beat the Hornets at home. That would be genuinely depressing to go through an off season where he takes over and it's like, well, let's kick it down the can. Let's evaluate one more season.
Sure.
I don't need another year of evaluating. Can we please do something? Because every time we don't do something, people around the team say, "Well, wait till the next deadline. We'll wait till the next off season." And then you go through an off season. It's, well, I'll wait till the deadline.
I've been hearing it for 2 years.
But it doesn't end. It's a never-ending story of not doing anything. And so I genuinely hope that he comes in with an aggressive approach of, we're not where we need to be. How do we get to where we need to be? Let's go be aggressive.
Well, we need to get to the third hour. What I'd finally add to that, because I think that's a good point, is also like maybe this – I don't know how optimistic I am about the opinion, but like maybe because he's coming in, it's kind of like Cronin has no choice but to make a major move that potentially saves his job. Because if they run this back – that team ain't going to be much of a playoff play-in team again.
No, it's the same team.
Unless they hit the lottery and just strike gold in that way.
DeBanza is added to the fold because you got the number one pick,
They run this group back, it's going to be much of the same stuff. You're not going to feel a lot of optimism, and then you're just basically, you have no reason to have a gig.
No.
So I almost wonder if him coming in makes that administration say, oh, well, we got to be aggressive here. We got to make this team good next year.
I'm ready for a change-up, man. Watching him last night, again, it's just like, all right.
I know.
Let's put some chips on the middle of the table here, please.
Loaded third hour. Andrew Brandt will join us. MMQB coming up at 8:30. Get his thoughts on the whole Trey Hendrickson, Max Crosby ordeal. Loaded third hour, fourth hour on the corner. Status Story, Dirt and Sprague, 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Blazers built a 19-point lead over the Hornets early in the first half and then fizzled for the next three quarters. They fall to Charlotte at the end, 103-101. A couple of days to get ready for the Jazz coming to Moda Center on Friday. The story of the NBA, though, Tuesday, Bam Adebayo of the Heat scored 83 points against the Wizards, second most in the game in league history, leading Miami to the 150-129 victory. Bam hit 7 threes and set an NBA record, making 36 of 43 free throws. The new NFL league year starts at 1 p.m. this afternoon. That's when free agents can officially sign contracts. And the Ravens broke news earlier this morning after nixing the Max Crosby trade on Tuesday due to concerns over the results of his physical. They have reportedly agreed to a 4-year, $112 million contract with former Bengals pass rusher Trey Hendrickson. USA Baseball in danger of missing the quarterfinals of the World Baseball Classic. They lose to Italy on Tuesday 8-6. And that sets up the possibility of a three-way tie in their group if Mexico beats Italy today and the tiebreaker comes down to runs allowed divided by outs recorded. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigart from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk Hurt and missing work insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
Your home for the Sports Network.
Hey, welcome back in. Hour number 3. Dirt and Sprague here, Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 FM The Fan, 1080 AM, the Odyssey app, live on YouTube. Good morning, everybody.
Squeeze them damn things. Make sure you got 2.
I think Bam did that last night, 83 times.
I have really enjoyed scrolling Twitter and just seeing the amount of people upset that he broke that record.
It's great, dude. It's great.
Kobe didn't do this. This is how Kobe scored 81.
Your point on his final game in his career is so great.
Shot 50
and
times. I loved it.
I loved every second
of it.
I was
on my couch like, yeah.
So if you remember that night in the NBA, that was the last night of the regular season.
Yeah.
It was simultaneously happening at the same time the Warriors broke the all-time win record.
73 and
They
9.
had 73 wins. And I remember the debate internally. I remember on the show that day of like, what are you more curious of? Kobe's final game or the Warriors going for 73 wins? It wasn't even close
I
to
said
me.
Kobe all day.
And I watched every second of that
So did I.
Jazz-Laker game. And
And by
I
the way,
wanted
how
him
good
to
were the
shoot
Jazz?
every time he shot.
Were the Jazz good that year? Was that a Gordon
No.
Hayward Jazz team?
No chance. That Jazz team sucked.
Really?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that
Okay,
Jazz
hold on,
team
let me
was
look it up.
terrible. Before Mitchell might have been there, but maybe he was young. I'm rolling the dice. Bad Jazz team. I feel like they've been bad a lot more recently.
I feel like that ended up being a good Jazz
Is
team.
it?
So it's
Yeah.
2016.
2016.
No,
what do we
you're
got?
right. 40 and 42 Jazz team.
Well, that's not as bad as I thought. That's,
They were ascending, I think, that year.
better than us right now.
Yeah, okay. Well, they played more games. Give us time. We might be 40 and 42,
I
baby.
just like pointing that out. We got a lot to get to this hour of radio. By the way, Saturday Story coming up, final hour, and Andrew Brandt at the bottom of the hour. Very excited for that one. Longtime president of the Packers will be joining the show.
It's like what we decide is acceptable and not acceptable is pretty funny. What a great night. And by the way, by every report, audio interviews, whatever you want to do, by every metric, Bam Adebayo is an all-time good dude.
Yes, he is.
His girlfriend's at MVP winning titles in the WNBA.
They're like the
super
Love and
babies
Basketball
potentially.
movie in real life, man.
Dude, he's 6'9", and she's like 6'6", 6'5".
Look out. That cat kid, no matter the gender, is going to dominate whatever sport they play.
And they're going to do an interview. You know, we never pushed him into the basketball. We let him make his own decisions. Like, well, genetically, I don't think he had much of a choice. He was 7'2", and he was dunking in 7th grade.
Came out of the womb at 4 feet tall, man.
But I love how we do pick and choose. And look, it's okay to have your all-time favorite players. Kobe is that for many a player. Shooting 22 of 50, 6 of 21 from 3, by the way.
Yeah.
To score 60 because it's your last game in a 17-win season.
Is okay.
That's totally cool.
Totally
because his
fine.
all-time career. I find it all dumb.
Yeah.
Why can't we just enjoy stuff? Why are people so angry and ready to say,
That was hilarious.
not as good as the other one?
They're playing a team who's trying to lose on purpose. Who the hell cares whether it's ethical or not?
Right.
And this is why I brought it up earlier in the show. We'll get to NFL stuff this hour, I promise.
I didn't mean to derail you.
No, it's okay. But it's the reason why I brought it up was because I think of all the legitimate, rational voices that I want to hear talk about this, somebody who's been in those shoes and how they thought about the ethical or unethical aspect of it. Damian Lillard was the strongest voice for me last night because he did it the quote-unquote right way. He didn't force shots. They didn't foul. They sat him in the last couple of minutes of the game, and he had 71 points. And he said last night, I wish I didn't do that. And he had a hilarious line at the end of it talking about, I don't know, I can't remember if he used ethical or unethical, but he basically said in the history books, we won't remember how he got that. 40 years from now,
it's just that he scored 83.
Bam scored 83, and your name will always be up there.
Right.
And that was his point of in the moment you might say, damn, he's kind of cheating the game a little bit with how often he's shooting it. But in the history books, who cares? Your name is now second all time, and Dame wishes he would have done it.
Now, when you think about the Kobe 81, they even did a commercial over this, which is an all-time great sports commercial.
Yes, it is.
The Jalen Rose catching strays because Kobe scored 81 and everybody saying Kobe scored 81 on Jalen Rose. I think we went back and looked, and he scored like 16 of his 81 on Jalen Rose.
Some of it, of course, was against him, but not all of it.
Right, but Rose was a pretty big name. I think Bosch was still a baby at that point because he was 6. So
the young Raptor on the Raptors.
Who is the player on the Wizards that's going to catch the random Jalen Rose stray because of this?
Was Trae Young in the lineup?
Trae Young did not play last night.
Okay,
it was Trey Johnson, who's a rookie.
Yeah.
Will Riley.
Never heard of him.
Bub Carrington.
Yeah, Blazer legend Bub Carrington.
Alex Sarr.
Yes, Sarr probably catches the flat because he's a big on big crime. We got to go that way, right?
They were triple teaming him.
They were.
And he was still shooting the ball, getting buckets. I looked up Dame's box score, by the way, for the 70 burger.
Yeah.
His box score, he was 22 of 38. He was 13 for 22 from 3 and 14 for 14 from the free throw line.
So the field goal attempts are just slightly different, right? But it's not that big of a difference. The main change is the
his efficiencies were better, but you're not scoring that many points without
you got to chuck. You got to chuck, and if you're hot, keep chucking, man. That's the lesson of the day. Never walk away from the table when you're on a heater, and that includes you, Bam, when you got 60 points in the third quarter.
And he went for it.
He absolutely did. The big news of the morning: we showed up today, and we're like, hey, we got a loaded show, and then we didn't imagine it was going to be this loaded. But a couple of offshoot conversations of this, and we'll talk to Andrew Brandt coming up at the bottom of the hour about it. The Ravens backed out of the Max Crosby trade yesterday, which unless you've been living under a rock, you know about now. And everybody thought, hey, where are they going to go now? They were trying to add a defensive lineman. Where are they going to go? Well, right out of the gate this morning, they got a deal done with Trey Hendrickson, the free agent from the team in their division in Cincinnati. They gave him a 4-year, $112 million contract, so he will stay in the AFC North. I thought an interesting tangent of this because we're always asking questions of like, well, who else could be involved in Crosby? How did this negotiation go? Well, now we have some answers. So Jeremy Fowler of ESPN reported the other teams that were in the mix on Hendrickson. You ready for this? So he obviously signs with Baltimore. The other teams that were attempting to sign him late before he just reached a deal, the Indianapolis Colts, the Buffalo Bills.
Ooh, that one hurts.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
The team that we mentioned with the most cap space, the Washington Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
And the team that always finds a way in and nudges their nose and cracks the door open, the Philadelphia Eagles.
By the way, the Eagles, according to Over the Cap, have $10 million.
Okay. None of it's real, but
like
how do you make that work?
Tells you our point, though, right?
None of
the
it's
Eagles
real.
would find a way to be in this conversation.
Yeah. So here's the rationale for Fowler on this was that the Colts thought they were going to get him at one point but didn't have the right finances. The Eagles were pushing late and made a strong push, but not quite enough. Tampa wanted a short-term deal with a higher payout per year, right? So like a 2-year more expensive contract, but they didn't want to give him 4 years. Hendrickson wanted a longer-term deal. Buffalo fit the mold, but Baltimore put it over the top, adding a few more dollars Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and that's ultimately when the deal got done. So Buffalo was incredibly close to adding the top free agent edge rusher. Now, are they willing to part with the draft capital and go get Crosby now as a pivot? I don't know, but if you're wondering the teams who might be involved in the Crosby sweepstakes, I thought this was an interesting look at all of those teams. The Colts, the Bills, the Bucks, the Commies, and the Eagles were the ones trying to get Hendrickson and did not ultimately land.
Yeah, Rossini had this in our first hour, and we had talked about it, that basically the report is that the Ravens had all the intel that this injury stuff and what it was. Like, you want your physicals, you want to take it, and you want to evaluate all that. There wasn't anything surprising about this. This, by almost all the reporting so far, is that they figured out they could get Hendrickson, and they got cold feet about losing 2 firsts. So what do? You add a year of service to Hendrickson in a deal that somehow they'll be able to get out of in 2 years if they want. You find an extra year. You pay just a little less on a per-year basis, and you keep 2 first-round picks, which – you want to talk about ethical, not ethical. The Ravens doing this is debatable in itself.
Yes, it is.
I'm kind of curious what the fallout's going to be in Vegas with what their value is going to be now for Crosby, because I can't imagine it's going to be 2 firsts. Brilliant business by Baltimore. Let me just say that at the top. Like,
unethical or ethical doesn't matter.
I mean, if I'm a Baltimore Raven fan today,
keep your first-round picks, cheaper player.
I'm stoked
about it. Premium edge rusher.
Yes,
like every box is checked.
We got our 2 first-round picks back.
Yep.
We still have a great edge rusher. It's a division foe. I'm jacked about this if I'm a Ravens fan. People around the league not so happy about the way the Ravens are doing business right now in that trade. I still don't think anything's going to matter in the grand scheme. If they want to make a trade with the Ravens, they ultimately will. But now you got to wonder what are the Raiders going to get for Max Crosby if 2 firsts was walked back by a team because of his medicals? Is another team going to say, yeah, we'll still do that? Or are you going to get the Commanders coming in saying, What about a first and a fourth?
Yeah, is that enough?
What about a first and a fifth?
Who ends up being the winner out of this, too? Because we know the Raiders are a loser here. Ravens are a winner, I would argue, because they ended up with a premium player at that position on a cheaper contract, and they keep their 2 first-round picks, right? So we can debate the ethics behind how they got there, but they got there, and they are a winner out of that negotiation. Somebody else is going to be a winner here because I genuinely believe that he's going to get traded again. He's not coming back to the Raiders.
Are you concerned at all after seeing this? Are you like, oh, they're just getting their first-round picks back, and there's no injury concern here?
No, because if I'm in the mold of trading for Max Crosby, my mindset is similar to kind of what we talked about the McDuffie thing to the Rams. Like, I'm there. I'm close.
You're trying to maximize the next year and a half.
I got a window here, and I'm not thinking 5 years down the road for Max Crosby. I'm thinking in the next 2 to 3 years, can this move put us over the hump? And if I feel that way, then no, I'm not concerned because I think a lot of the surgeons have come out and the doctors have come out and said there's no short-term concerns about Crosby. It's about where he's at 4 or 5 years from now is the fear. And so that's not even a part of my calculus if I'm making the trade because I'm trying to win in the next 3 years. But what fit does make sense, we just gave you a couple of teams there, some of the other ramifications of this move happening, and a few other tidbits out of the National Football League. We'll dive into those. Coming up next, we got Andrew Brandt, bottom of the hour, back after this, 105.1 FM The Fan. All right, Andrew Brandt, former VP of the Packers, coming up, bottom of the hour. We have not even talked about it's news that I heard broke on the firm of Harris Meringue yesterday. So I was driving home, and whenever I hear the sounder, your ears perk up. Oh, what could it be? The NFL's happening right now. What's going on? We haven't even talked about Geno Smith getting traded back to the Jets.
So the funny thing was, I had my last team practice last night, and it was just unfortunately right at this sweet spot of the sports situations. Bam going for the 83.
Lots going on last night.
The very beginning of the Blazer game.
Right.
I had my entire show sheet ready. I had notes. I had this. I had that. And my first segment tease was going to be something like, hey, they wrote back.
Yeah, they wrote back.
And I totally forgot about that story within just doing the show this morning.
Oh, you deleted immediately. I mean, it's news. It's interesting and funny, but not that big of a deal.
I mean, it's very interesting, though, that they've both found that they need each other again. Isn't it funny how
both of their realities have crumbled?
The Jets
back
have
together.
No other options. So like, let's bring in the aging guy who doesn't seem to have it anymore. And the aging guy's like, I'm still good, man. I need a starting job. And it just so happens that they're both in the same situation where one another needs a reunion to happen. And this is obviously not going to age well.
No, it's
What
not.
are they going to win next year? 5 games?
Not a lot. They're going to fire their coach. It's all going to be another restart.
The Jets.
We all you never say never in the NFL. I feel like with the Jets, we can never say never, and it's okay to do so and not have the fear of them proving us wrong or making us look stupid. This is that toxic couple that just shouldn't have never been together in the first place, couldn't find anybody else, and it's 2 a.m. at a bar, and they're just the last 2 people in there, and they say, all right, let's go do it again.
They are the divorced couple that need a divorce. They're still divorced, but they randomly text to hook up once in a while, and they don't tell their kids.
Right.
That's what this is.
It's like, what are we doing here?
I was watching a movie with my family a couple days ago over the weekend, and the movie they were watching was Big Daddy.
Ah, Big Daddy classic.
That movie came out, I want to say, in 2001?
Sounds about right. I know it was early 2000. 1999.
99, thank you. So before 9/11. That movie came out in 1999. The child in that movie is actually a pair of twins who became Disney stars. Those twins are now both in their 30s, and there's a line in there as the kid is in a bar and says the GD Jets, and it still applies.
1999.
That was 1999, and I'd still be thinking the same thing if I was a Jets fan from 99 to 2026.
His old balls? You're with this guy and his old balls? Great movie.
Kids loved it. The kids loved it.
Whenever that movie's on, it's a delightful one to go back and watch. I want to be out early on this segment to give Brandt full allotment of time so we're not up against the crunch of the clock. So I will ask the question, though, and you can do this from a pure partisan standpoint if you want. You could take a wider view of the NFL if you want. Where is the place that you get most excited to see Max Crosby, and where is the place that you're like, oh, he went there?
Buffalo.
Is the most excited?
Yeah, if your team's not involved.
From
I'd
a
say
nonpartisan point of
Buffalo.
view, because I'm sure you'd love him on San Francisco. Would you trade the 27th pick for him?
Yeah.
In a heartbeat?
Yeah. Here's a
What if they want a 1 and a 3? 1 and a 3 gets you Max Crosby.
We're already leaning into being old and
Bosa,
injury-prone.
Crosby, Mike Evans. Who else is an injured-riddled veteran?
It's going to be the most glorious 6 games of our season until they both and all get hurt.
6-0 dominate everybody, and now
God,
they're all
dude.
hurt because of the substation.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
I'd probably want more of a 4th than a 3rd there, but
okay. If that's the breaking point, like the commies are often a 1 and a 4. If you go to a 1 and a 3, you can have him.
I wouldn't be totally upset. Okay. I still believe that he can have at least one more great year.
I think it's longer than that. I'd give him credit for at least 2 or 3 more years.
And that's certainly fair to say. His age is just right on that threshold of when guys start to drop off. The injury with the knees, is that now going to be something that pops up? I think, though, if you to remove fandom from it, it's Buffalo.
Buffalo's the best spot.
Because the best possible scenario that happens here is now Baltimore and fill-in-the-blank AFC team wild card weekend or divisional round weekend game, and guess who's still healthy playing? The guy going against Baltimore is Max Crosby. I kind of need that.
Be phenomenal in the postseason, would it not?
This made him
somehow
have to,
the Raiders get they're that dark horse rookie quarterback team too, and they make a wild card and they have to go to Baltimore and play him, or Buffalo, I should say.
This made him have to delete his whole video. He then went ghost on everything, and then his only post he has said is celebrating his sobriety. So I think that dude is now internally pissed of like, oh, I was going to go from being a teammate of Lamar to
right.
I need to take him down. So, yeah, probably an AFC team that could potentially face Baltimore. Is he a Bengal? Is that what you're going to tell me? Is that where all this goes?
Dude, their cheap asses aren't making this move. Are you kidding me? There's no chance. No, other news in the NFL, though, a guy in the team we've been wondering about. So much for the transitional tag. The Colts and Daniel Jones have reached an agreement on a 2-year contract.
Worth?
They've been working towards it for days. Adam Schefter does not tell us.
So did you see the random thing we didn't bring up of he was quietly demanding $50 a year?
No. What?
Yeah. There was intel coming out of Indy that his camp, the reason they hadn't worked a deal out at that point, was he was basically telling the Colts, I want $50 million a year.
There was a scuttlebutt initially that they going into the offseason, the Colts thought this was going to be a layup, and then they were blown away by what he was asking.
And
but I had
50.
not seen what the amount was.
The number floated out was 50, and everybody's like,
Jesus,
go, get out of here.
Well, you ready for this?
Yeah. Is it 50? What is it? Is it fully guaranteed? Tell me it's fully guaranteed.
Ian Rappaport adding to it. The Colts are locking in their quarterback with Daniel Jones. It's a 2-year, $100 million contract. It is the biggest 2-year deal in the history of the NFL. So Daniel Jones asked for and got $50 million.
Now, what's the second? Can they get out of it, or how much of that is
has to be a
guaranteed?
team option out of
I'm
that
not seeing any other
year.
specifics in terms of when the opt-out
He'll probably
is.
get 50 this year.
Yeah, he's going to get a guarantee out of that. But
So it says, with the Colts transition tag Daniel Jones, the play was always to do a deal. Jones gets $50 million in year one and the opportunity to cash in again. So, yeah, maybe
it's a team option.
Fully guaranteed deal year one, and then you're back into a player option or something along those lines.
When is he even coming back?
We don't know.
That didn't happen at the beginning of the season. That happened at the midway point.
We do not know. They were. It was 10 weeks into the season when he got hurt. They were 8-2. He led the NFL in passing yards, ranked top 6 in both completion percentage and yards per attempt. And he's going to get paid $50 million next year.
I heard this from Ben Solak because I watched him and Mina Kimes' free agency show. Yeah, he noted this. So if you look at it, so he got hurt at the very beginning of that Jacksonville game.
Yes.
If you don't take the Jacksonville game,
he played the rest of the game. Didn't he stick in the game for a while, if I'm mistaken? Or did he come out right away?
Attempted 7 passes.
Okay, so I'm mistaken.
60 yards.
Okay.
His 2 weeks prior to that,
we're not good.
He had 61.3 and 51.9 completion percentages against Kansas City's defense, Houston's defense.
Yeah. And the Steeler game was in
Some
the mix
people
too.
were starting to think that was
the league was figuring out what they were doing.
He wasn't as, efficient as he had been most of the way through. But we'll have to wait and see on that.
Colt's question is, what are your other options? Sounds like Kyler is going to be a Viking. That the intel continues to point at that. And so what the hell else is your choice? Let's re-sign him. So they have. That deal is done. Andrew Brandt is going to join us, former VP of the Packers, covering the NFL for a long time and around the NFL for a long time. What does he make of the Crosby-Ravens situation, the entire NFL offseason? Also, how many of these contracts are actually real? We'll talk to Andrew Brandt coming up next. First, your Swag with Sports Center.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Blazers go cold in the fourth quarter, just 7 of 20. They commit 6 turnovers and fritter away a lead to the Hornets, losing 103-101. They will return and get ready for the Jazz this Friday at Moda Center. Bam Adebayo had a night for the Heat Tuesday, 83 points. It's the second most in the game in league history, leading Miami to a 150-129 win over the Wizards. Bam hit 7 threes and set an NBA record, making 36 of 43 free throws. The NFL getting set to commence business starting at 1 p.m. today. That's when the new league year starts, and all the trades and all the free agent deals can officially be signed. The latest one, Ian Rappaport reporting the Colts and Daniel Jones have worked out a deal on a 2-year contract. I'm seeing some reports that say it's $88 million, and with incentives can get up to $100 million. The NFL also considering having a standalone game on the night before Thanksgiving. We will see how that plays out moving forward for the 2026 schedule. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Recruiting with In this wide world of sports, some stories can slip through the cracks.
Now, before we do this, let's go over the ground rules.
The Daily Ticker, where Dirt and Sprague hit the big stories you've heard about, and some you haven't.
How'd you do that? Actually, I'm not even mad. It's amazing.
The Daily Ticker with Dirt and Sprague on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
All right, Daily Ticker time on a Wednesday. Excited for this one. It's a bit of a white whale. We've been trying to have him on for years. Great to finally have him. Lots going on in the National Football League. And our guest now is Andrew Brandt. He's the Executive Director of Sports Law at Villanova, the Sunday 7 newsletter series, the Business of Sports podcast, and, of course, former VP of the Green Bay Packers. And Andrew, at Andrew Brandt on Twitter, I do want to start with a thank you to you because the times we live in, it's a bit of a cesspool out there on social media. And I got to tell you, your Twitter account is a delightful follow because you kind of cut through the BS. You give, like, actual numbers of contracts when you see these gross, like, hey, 5-year, $100 million deal, and you're like, well, actually, it's this. Yep. So you cut through a lot of that noise, and it's a cesspool online, but I always enjoy your content. So thanks for hopping on the show today. As a former VP and somebody who's been in a front office, what do you think is going on inside the Baltimore Ravens, the Las Vegas Raiders war room? And did you ever have an experience like that where a trade was put through and then backed out of for medical reasons?
Yeah, thanks, guys. I mean, again, I appreciate the comments. If people want to sort of see what really goes on without all the BS, obviously my Twitter, I do a lot of these reels on Instagram, Andrew Brandt too, and you mentioned the newsletter. People can sign up. Go to mysunday7.com. That's where I put out my thoughts every Sunday. I think you'll enjoy it. This is kind of a unique situation where this happens every year, where we have this legal tampering period, which is really kind of everyone does agreements and says we're good, but nothing is binding. As a lawyer, you know this. Nothing is binding until it's written down, it's processed, and trades can't be processed till 4 p.m. Eastern time today. So anything that happened before today is really null and void until today, and that's what happened with this trade. Usually when it happens, it's the player backing out, having cold feet, wanting to go back from where he played, whatever. We've seen it a few times. We saw it but sometimes it's physical. And this is the question I got 1,000 times last night. Yes, every team is different. Physicals are subjective. If you pass one physical, it doesn't mean you're going to pass another. If you don't pass one, it doesn't mean you're not going to pass another. So the Ravens' physical failed Max Crosby. End of trade. Every trade has a contingency for passing the physical. We're back to square one. And all the other stuff asked about there, are the Raiders going to get out of the other deals they did? No. I mean, unless they want to get the reputation they're accusing the Ravens of having. So listen, the Ravens, I understand it. I tweeted out that I had a situation like this, traded a player who was a former top 10 pick named Jamal Reynolds to the Colts. They sent him back. They said failed physical. I didn't believe it. But what are you going to do? I mean, I think they just saw him and said that we thought he was bigger than this. So we'll see.
Okay, so I apologize if this is a dumb question, but I am kind of dumb compared to somebody like you who knows what they're talking about in the league. I can't help as a fan media member to see this stuff and think, well, is it possible Baltimore kind of knew what the medicals were going to be and then also said, we can get Hendrickson for one extra year, but on a year basis, it's a little cheaper than Crosby and keep our first, quietly negotiate behind the scenes, little unethical, and then have the trade rescind? Like, does that stuff actually happen, or is that stuff we make up in our minds because everything happens so quickly of Crosby deal over within like 10 hours, here we go, Trey Hendrickson, 4 years, $112 million?
Well, January, February, early March, I'm sure the Ravens had a plan, and the plan was, if we can get Crosby, let's do it. If we can't, here are the other options. And, you know, then it's the negotiation with the Ravens, and the Raiders. Raiders supposedly had other teams. They had to move up to 2 number ones. But, yeah, they had other options going in. They had other options to fall back on. And they come out of this with Trey Hendrickson and keeping their picks. You know, I just think when we ascribe these ulterior motives to these teams, like we're given and the thing that's out there is, well, people will never deal with the Ravens again. Of course they will, if they have to. Right. I mean, I learned this the hard way. I had an agent screw me and take a player to another team, and when I thought I had a deal, I'm like, I'll never deal with that agent again. But you know what? He had a player we needed. So what am I going to do?
Right.
And sometimes the teams are going to have to deal with the Ravens.
Yeah. We're talking with Andrew Brandt, at Andrew Brandt on Twitter. Great follow on Twitter, Sunday 7 newsletter, business and sports podcast, former VP of the Green Bay Packers. We have always had this theory working, and you have more firsthand knowledge of it than we do, but my co-host loves to joke from time to time that the salary cap isn't real. It's just kind of this made-up number, and teams can always we'll just restructure a deal. Here's a little more cash. All right, now we're under the cap. Nothing to see here. Or the Rams are the prime example of this, of like every other day I feel like I'm seeing an announcement that the Rams have signed a new player to a big contract. I'm like, how is this possible? How real is the salary cap, and how easy is it to navigate the landscape around being over or under that number?
I mean, I'll just answer it this way. I get this question a lot. The cap is real if the world's going to end in a couple of years.
That's a good way of putting it.
Actually, I say it the wrong way. The cap is not real if the world's going to end in a year or two. The cap is real if you care about the future. And there's something called proration. Give a big signing bonus, $50 million signing bonus, prorate over a 5-year contract, $10 million a year. If you cut the player, if you separate with the player, you accelerate all the unamortized proration, and you get situations like the Dolphins with $99 million on their cap for 2 is going to be gone. And these are just – it just depends how you feel. Like if you feel it's okay to play with a half deck, I mean, that's fine. But I used to tell, when I managed the cap for 10 years with the Packers, I told our coaches and GM, like, listen, can we do this? Can we do that, Andrew? Can we do this? I'm like, we can do anything you want if you don't care about 2 years from now, 3 years from now.
Right.
But if you do, and coaches usually don't. Coaches are all about the present. You need general managers and forward thinkers to sort of hold you back on stuff.
You quote tweeted this morning, the Raiders, according to multiple reports, are looking to still get 2 firsts for Max Crosby after that trade was taken back, and you said good luck with that. I'm kind of curious now, if the Raiders are trying to state this publicly, is that a way to still entice teams to give them a call? And then ultimately, how does a price tag like that change from 2 firsts from a team to a failed physical to what is an expectation that may be reasonable? And I know you don't know what the Raiders will ultimately give in on, but just going from 2 firsts for a player like that to what it changes to potentially now.
Well, I don't know what the Raiders knew or what the Ravens knew about this surgery. I mean, I found out after the fact. I didn't know Max Crosby had a serious knee surgery in January. To me, I don't know what the Ravens did their due diligence. Like, that's something you wait before you give 2 number ones. And maybe they will get that. But I don't think they'll get anytime soon. And I think a team's going to have to see, look, how far is he in his rehab? And he's saying he's going to be ready by training camp. Do we even know that? Do we even know for sure? So now, I don't want to overstate it, but he's damaged goods. So maybe they keep him. Maybe they get rid of him. Maybe they take a second-round pick down the road, or a first and a fifth, or whatever it may be. But I don't think they're getting that.
Yeah. You mentioned having that experience when you were with Green Bay. I'm just curious what it was like going through it, because my thought is it's a lose-lose for the Raiders. You're not going to likely get the same value in another trade, and so you're taking cents on the dollar, which is not something you want to do for a premium player. Or the alternative is you got a guy who clearly doesn't want to be there anymore, already posted a goodbye on social media, then he had to delete it, and we all remember how the season ended last year with them shutting him down and him not being happy. And so you either got to take pennies on the dollar or bring a guy back who doesn't want to be here. How did that situation play out, and how did you navigate that landscape? Because the player knows you tried to trade him, and now the deal got nixed, and now he's back in the fold.
I mean, we're adults here. Yeah. We get it. They'll figure it out. And again, my experience, like the Colts did that. I'm like, we're never doing business with the Colts. Of course you do. It's emotion. And no one's even going to be talking about this in a couple of days around the country. So, you deal with it.
Yeah.
In terms of the Colts, they made a signing just a couple minutes ago. Daniel Jones has signed a 2-year, $100 million deal. Now, to what it looks like so far, it sounds like it's $50 million guaranteed, and so we'll have to see what the option situation is for maybe a second year there. But just your thoughts of Daniel Jones getting a guaranteed $50 million for potentially a season with the Colts coming off an Achilles.
He's not going to play for quite a while. It's a good deal for him. This is a leverage situation. He played really well last year before he got hurt, and the Colts traded 2 number ones for Sauce Gardner, and they lost all leverage with Jones because the only way you get a superstar quarterback is high pick in the draft or something miracle happens. And they gave away all their ammunition to get a high pick in the draft for this year, for next year, so they're stuck with Jones. So they got to pay him. And the going rate for the top guys is 55, 60. So, if they get him for $40 million plus, that's probably a good deal, even with Achilles.
Yeah. You had mentioned, too, like looking around the NFL in terms of the big spenders so far this offseason, they have something in common, and that is, well, one, they got a lot of money because they haven't been very good, but they also have young quarterbacks on a rookie deal. And just the idea of that still being the pathway that makes a lot of sense in the National Football League of a quarterback on a rookie scale deal. That you have a number of years until you even have to or can renegotiate the deal, right? And they can't hold you over a barrel at any time between now and then. Of just is that still the best way you think to build your roster? To seeing a Seattle do it the way they did it, where it was more of a let's build everything else kind of around it, and then go get one of these quarterbacks that hasn't quite worked out, but he's on a slightly cheaper deal than as we're just talking about with like a Daniel Jones and the going rate being around $50 million, tends to be a copycat league. Is that still kind of the thinking process you think in a lot of front offices of rookie scale contracts?
Yeah, that's it. And I'm sorry, I got to run after this question, but I mean, it's the best value in sports. We have a rookie contract. You can't even renegotiate Cam Ward's contract for 2 more years. You can't renegotiate Mendoza, who's going to be the quarterback for the Raiders, for 3 years. So, you guys making $6, $7, $8 million a year compared to the guys making $50, $60 million a year. Then you use that to build your roster. So it's kind of a tried and true formula. We saw it with Russell Wilson. We saw it with other. We're seeing it with Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. This is what happens.
Andrew Brandt, at Andrew Brandt on Twitter. Go give him a follow. The Sunday 7 newsletter, business and sports podcast, former VP of the Green Bay Packers. Thanks for the time this morning in Portland. We appreciate it, and hopefully we can do it again soon.
Thanks, guys.
There you go. Andrew Brandt, former VP of the Green Bay Packers. He's on the way out, man. We'll see you later. I was over quick. Appreciate his time talking and making sense of a lot of things in the National Football League. Let's react to some of that and what he had to say, because the idea of how you build a roster is interesting. The Daniel Jones news we are still digesting. We'll get to another tidbit out of the National Football League coming up top of the hour in terms of, are they really doing this? Are they? Yeah, they're really doing that. We'll get to that coming up top of the hour. Back after this on The Fan.
Big hits, big bets, big plays.
Today I'm laying the big wood.
This is the Layin' Wood Report, brought to you by Mr. Plywood, serving Portland for over 50 years.
She was complaining about how I got my 10,000 point and how she wanted me to wait. So to have 83 the first game she's here is very special.
There's Bam Adebayo post-game. 83 points last night against the Wizards, passing Kobe Bryant, who did it in 2006 with 81, just behind Wilt Chamberlain for 100.
This is going to turn into like the no-hitter against a bad team doesn't count. You no-hit
the team no-hitter.
Fill in the blank. You no-hit the Colorado Rockies. Are we going to count? The Wizards are terrible, but Bam, he took him behind the woodshed, laid a lot of wood to him last night.
Hell of a night for Bam Adebayo. Layin' Wood Report brought to you by Mr. Plywood, serving Portland for over 60 years. Delivery, custom cutting, special orders. Go to Southeast Stark Street for their location or go online at mrplywoodinc.com.
It's time for the
Well, I was just saying out there, don't meet your heroes.
Yeah.
I genuinely, he's a phenomenal Twitter follow, Andrew Brandt is, because he'll cut through some of the nonsense of contracts, and it's enlightening, right? Like, we all see total numbers and average value. We just do the math in our head of, like, you're paying this guy $50 million a year, when in reality that's not the case. And so he's a good follow for that reason. We then spent the entire commercial break playing the game of, does that rank in the top 5 worst interviews we've ever done? And I think it does.
So here are my top 5.
Give me your top 5.
From night show basement dwellers, shout out Carrie Eggers on that term, to morning host, I will give you my top 5.
Top 5.
Personal experience of I did not have a good time.
I did not have
wanted
fun.
off that ride.
I want off. Give me off the ride.
It was the octopus ride at Oaks Park. I wanted it to stop, but it had just started, so I had to just grip it and rip it.
It's spinning too fast, man.
These are my top 5.
Shut it down!
All right. Number 5. Don't meet your heroes. Tom Green, come on down. We had Tom Green in studio.
We did, yeah.
And I asked him a Drew Barrymore question. That was a big mistake. It was over after that. Tom Green,
if I remember correctly, the Tom Green interview, the Drew Barrymore question was pretty early on into the interview.
It was like the third
energy
question.
was already bad from the get-go. Like, the second he walked into the studio, it was like, this guy doesn't want to be here doing this.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of enthusiasm about doing an interview. We were very complimentary. He said, dude, we loved your show. This is awesome. You're in town. Thank you so much.
Grew up religiously watching you.
And he was just like, yeah, it's good to be here.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, no.
Oh, no.
And I made the grave mistake of being me and asking about Drew Barrymore. That was a mistake.
Number 5.
That's number 5. Number 4, anything involving Mario Cristobal has to be on that list. Has to be. There's no scenario, win-loss.
No, it doesn't matter.
Didn't matter. Mario.
The only time it was ever a fun, there was one time it was a fun interview, and it disappeared like 2 weeks later because I'm pretty sure they lost 2 weeks later. Mm-hmm. The only time I remember him being in a jovial, good mood.
For him.
Yeah. Was after they beat Washington in the walk-off overtime C.J. Verdell won. He came on and was giddy like a schoolgirl. And I'd have to go back and look because I want to say that 2 weeks later they lost, and it was like, oh, God, he's back to this. This interview is the equivalent of pulling teeth. He doesn't want to do it. He doesn't give you anything. There's no beat. There's no, like, around the edges.
Football or non-football, It's not going to change it.
Dan Lannon, you can ask about barbecuing and, what kind of cocktails do you drink in the offseason, and he'll give you an actual answer on that.
Yeah.
With Mario, it was football and football only, but he had I remember that being the only one of like, that was at least kind of fun, and then it disappeared the next week.
So because it's topical and it's duck related, like even if I didn't enjoy the experience, we'd still get something out of it.
Yeah.
Okay?
And to say at least you had him on.
Number 3, we're putting that one in there.
That
was after my first question of just trying to tell him, hey, you're really smart and I'm not. Help me I sat there and I went, I'm riding this ride as long as Sturt wants to ride it. I'm not enjoying it. It was me on the Guardians of the Galaxy ride. Me and my youngest were holding each other, closing our eyes, waiting for that experience to end, while you were over there just guiding me through 12 minutes too long of a conversation.
By the way, the week after they beat Washington, it was I believe the game day game in Pullman, and they lost by 14 points.
There you go. That would be a reason to be pissed.
Cool. And then they got smoked by Arizona the next week on the road, and it was like, this is not fun anymore.
Not fun anymore. I want off. Number 2 is going to be Charlie Ward.
Yes.
We had an interview opportunity because he randomly was podcasting.
Yeah, or he was hawking something.
And they were like, do you want to interview Heisman Trophy winner Charlie Ward? And I'm like, former Nick and Heisman Trophy winner? Hell yeah. Signed up for it. He got on, and it was like,
hey, guys. Yeah.
So what was it like to win the Heisman Trophy?
It was pretty cool.
It was great.
Yeah. I talk football.
All right, we'll see you later, Charlie. Have a good day.
You telling me you're a podcast host?
It was a 3-minute interview, and I think
we ejected quickly.
It was. This has got to end. We're done. Here. And number 1 for me, selfishly, is always going to be alone doing John Lovitz. I will never forget that experience. It was the worst. I knew that was going to be bad, and it somehow got worse as I interviewed him. When I talked to him the minute I let him in the building,
it's also not a phoner. You couldn't hang up on him. He was in the studio.
Yeah, he was in studio.
He brought his teacup dog. He was like, and it wasn't a bit. He was, I'm pretty sure, on something because he's like, thank you for having me. And I'm like,
yeah, it was beyond weird.
You were there.
I was there.
It was beyond
I honestly
bizarre.
did not know. I had no advice for you. I could not help
There's nothing to chime in with.
I was like,
I got nothing, dude.
And then he left, and Swag was just like,
Holy catfish!
What was that?
Did
that just happen?
Those are my top 5.
That's your top 5
worst interviews I've experienced as a show host with
4
you.
of the 5 I can corroborate. I was on vacation for the John Lovitz interview, so I was not here to help you out in that instance.
No, there's nothing that tops that.
No.
I asked him about
bottoms
Saturday
that.
Night Live, and he goes, I'm watching this show, and it's got all this incest in it. It was like a reality show. It was that family that got busted. Duggars?
Oh,
Duggars?
the Duggars?
Yeah.
With the kid porn?
Dude. He just pivoted from SNL to, the dad's sleeping with a daughter.
What?
What?
Excuse me?
That was all he cared about.
Come again?
I think that's what he's watching when he's on the road.
Hey, you win some and you lose some. We'll always call the balls and strikes in the aftermath of it. Genuinely excited, but sometimes it doesn't quite go.
I'm not going to claim to be a great interviewer. I would never claim that. But once in a while, I get off and I'm like, dude, I know I'm not amazing. I might not be Howard Stern.
I'm not that bad.
If I ask you a move question, you can't be like, well, I don't know how they think. And then, like, if I ask you a topical-based question, what did I get from that? I still feel as dumb as I was going into it.
We're all in the same spot. We're back to square one, okay? Nobody got educated out of anything there.
That's a minute.
But at least we got a top 5
Yeah.
ranking out of it, so there is the silver lining.
I kind of wish Swag would have just gone in the air and be like, you guys are failing. Get out of this now. Abort.
I think I just whispered in Dirt's ear that time.
I'm like, rap. Time to go, man. Well, win some and you lose some.
I didn't think it was as bad as you guys did.
Well, you weren't on this side of it.
But
I mean,
I asked a question and then got 5 seconds of dead air.
Yeah.
And then I asked a question and I got the answer. We're all adults. Okay, thanks.
I had to be ready to pivot because I knew these answers would be like a sentence.
Thanks, man. Win some and lose some.
Yeah. By the way, did you know about? I thought I knew about Crosby's injury and stuff.
I'm fairly certain the Crosby knee surgery stuff was widely reported. But maybe I'm misremembering that. I thought.
Well, he was out for the whole. He was out.
They shut him
after
down
a
at the end of the
certain
year.
point,
He
and
wanted to play through it before the surgery,
Yeah.
but I thought we all knew that he was getting off-season surgery. And then he was like getting shots up in the gym, and it was like, didn't he just have surgery? And he was getting shots up in his home gym, and that went viral on social media. I digress. We have a lot to get to in the final hour of the radio program. Onward and upward, as they say. We will get to Status Story coming up at 9:15. Let's start the final hour, though, with the question of, are they really? Yeah, they're really going to do this, aren't they? Next on The Fan.
1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Blazers couldn't buy a bucket down the stretch, shooting under 35% the fourth quarter. They committed 6 turnovers and frittered away a 19-point lead against the Hornets in a 103-101 loss. They'll try again Friday when the Jazz come to Moda Center. Bam Adebayo, the second highest scoring game in NBA history with 83 against the Wizards. Miami wins 150-129. Bam had 7 threes, setting an NBA record, making 36 of 43 free throws. NFL news coming fast and furious this morning. The Ravens, after nixing the Max Crosby trade Tuesday, reportedly agreeing to a 4-year, $112 million contract with former Bengals pass rusher Trey Hendrickson. The news coming within the hour. The Colts have agreed to a 2-year contract with quarterback Daniel Jones. Could be worth upwards of $100 million. $60 million appears to be guaranteed. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Your home for
Hey, let's do this. Final hour. Dirt and Sprague here, Portland Sports Leader. 105.1 FM, The Fan. 1080 AM, the Odyssey app, live on YouTube. Good morning, everybody. Can only go up from here. We have a lot to get to in the final hour of the show.
I love meat.
Me too. Somebody asking, was that one where you guys woke the guy up when you first started the morning show? That was a Dusty and Cam interview, I believe.
That was Brady Hoke.
Brady Hoke, the defensive coordinator at the time for Mario Cristobal.
I'm glad that got brought up. I should have asked the Brandman. He was just in here.
He just came in to share his thoughts on Andrew Brandt being on the program.
That's all we'll leave it at.
Yep.
And I should have brought up the Brady Hoke of that experience.
If I remember correctly, they asked him a question, and it was like dead silent.
Dusty did, and he didn't respond. And then Dusty goes, Coach?
And he gave up, yeah, huh? What? Gave him one of those. Dude, it's 7:15 in the morning.
I don't think he's on West Coast time, our guest.
No, that's not the problem. He's a professor at Villanova. Villanova is most certainly not on the West Coast.
All I'm going to say is the email was, we're going to talk about topical things. If breaking news happens, just get your thoughts on all the deals. There was no time constraint. So him going,
I'm out of here, dude.
This has got to be my last question, is clearly him saying I need to be done with this conversation.
I'm out of here.
I just think some people are so in the know and so smart, and I'm fully addressing the fact that I'm an idiot.
Yeah, it's like the idea of Michael Jordan coaching basketball. Like, you can't do it. You're just so good at it that you can't impart the wisdom on other people.
Yeah, like a player is asking Michael Jordan, yes, I can't do this, coach. And he goes,
what
do you mean? Just do it.
Just do it. You just do it.
But I can't. What do you mean? I did it all the time.
I could do it every game.
I think that was a similar situation.
Sadder story coming up here in a few moments. A fun peekaboo look ahead, by the way. And hopefully if this one goes as bad as that one, if we are able to land it, I would be genuinely impressed because he's one of my favorite all-time Blazers. We are officially out to Rod Strickland to be on the show.
We are.
Now, did they win their conference tournament? Is that done?
Okay, so I should have looked this up, but yes, I found out watching the game.
Okay, because they played yesterday.
The broadcast on ESPN, too, the broadcast kept bringing up that they had punched their ticket, and I was very confused by this. I'm like,
what conference are they in?
The Northeastern Conference. And I go, wait, they're so good that they've punched their ticket already, and their record was 23-10.
They beat Mercyhurst yesterday 79-70.
They had punched their ticket because Mercyhurst just moved up and was not eligible. So it was kind of a doesn't matter what happens in this game title game.
De facto game.
But the team and the players for Rod Strickland and LIU said, we want to outright win it so it feels better to punch the ticket.
And they did. To their credit, they did. So we're hoping to get him on. He's one of my all-time favorite Blazers. So please, Rod, don't let me down, dude. I need you to be good. I need you to have fun with us.
What if he's just like, I had a good time in Portland, but I'm at LIU now.
I'm taking all my wristbands off, dude. I'm out of here. On that note, I wanted to bring this up too quickly. Where did this go? God. On the college basketball note, so I don't know if you saw this story yesterday. Now, it has been correct is not even the right word, but it has been fixed. There was a standoff between a conference and the number one seed in the conference. Did you see this story yesterday?
I did, and I followed it because there was a deadline by 4 o'clock our time for them to square this away.
And they met the deadline. So the conference is the WAC, and Utah Valley is the number one seed in the men's conference tournament. If they win the conference tournament, they go to the NCAA tournament, right? Well, they are leaving the conference. Is that right? Where is?
They're going to the Big West.
Utah Valley is going to the Big West. Okay, so they're going to the WAC to the Big West.
Yeah, from the WAC to the Big West. Yeah.
Okay. So what's the difference between the two?
Well, one's the Western Athletic Conference, and one is the Big West.
Okay.
So one's a little bigger than the other Western one.
Because it's the Big West? Yeah. It's not. Got it. Okay.
Right. But it doesn't compare to the Pac-12.
No, it does not. Or the Mountain West.
Well, the Mountain West is an entirely different area.
Okay, just
it's in the mountains.
Anyways, Utah Valley is leaving the conference, and in order to leave the conference, they had to put in $1 million into an escrow account to pay for the buyout and the agreed upon all that $1 million into the escrow with the court. Well, up until yesterday morning and early afternoon, they had not put that $1 million in escrow with the court, and the conference came out with a statement that was like, we're not going to let you play in the conference tournament until you do this. Mm-hmm. And that would have taken, again, they were the number one seed in the conference tournament. And if they win, they're going to the tournament to represent the WAC. Now, it was fixed by the end of the day. They put the $1 million in the account. But it was wild to read a statement at the time and think, are we really about to see a conference ban a team from playing in their own conference tournament because they're leaving and they haven't paid the right amount of money? Sums it up perfectly.
But they paid it.
They paid it.
They're
It'll
good.
Get fixed.
They squared it away.
We'll be okay.
Yeah.
Are they really about to do this is the question we open the final hour with, and the answer is yeah, they are. And that is a question of, is the NFL really about to add another day on the holiday bingo card? Because the reporting this morning...
I thought your tease was going to the World Baseball Classic.
No, I'm not. No, we can get to that a little bit later on. We'll give you the rooting interest and who you need to follow later on in the show. By the way, details on Daniel Jones' contract continuing to come out, so we'll get to that as well.
Okay.
But not a lot of time here before Saturday story.
Yeah.
The NFL, which trampled all over your league's day, Christmas Day is now our day, bitch. Get out of the way.
Hey, I famously called it.
It's their day now.
Wait for them to take Tuesday.
They make the rules. Well, let's add one more. They already own Thanksgiving. They own Labor Day. They own, all this stuff, right? All the different holidays throughout the year. They want to add the best drinking day of the year to their calendar.
Yes, they do.
And they want to throw Thanksgiving Eve into the mix. There's already 3 games on Thanksgiving. The NFL dominates Thanksgiving. The viewership numbers are absolute insanity from those 3 games.
Yep.
And now the NFL is seriously exploring when they say that, they're going to do it. And so look forward to a Wednesday NFL game the day before. Remember, this last year we have instituted the was that 2 years ago or this year? I can't remember which one. The Black Friday game is now a game. So now they own Thanksgiving, they own Christmas, they own Black Friday, and now they want to own Thanksgiving Eve.
And I'll give you a spoiler alert. They will, and they're going to move to Tuesday, and they are going to, because you have to think about this. They want more money, right?
How do you make this work with the schedule? Do you just make teams play on a Wednesday?
Well, when you add another game, your bye weeks can be changed.
You get 2 bye weeks with an extra game, but we're not going to have that this year. So if they do it this year, you won't be able to do that.
Well, but this is the build-up to having a game every day of the week. This is how they claim one day every day of the week. It's what sells to the media partners to give them even more money than they already make. And it's how you get an 18th game for an extra bye. So the team playing Tuesday, bye week, whatever it is, coming off the bye week, play Tuesday. They're going to figure this out, and they're going to be on every day of the week.
Yeah.
This is the most obvious thing. They're just moving closer and closer to it.
Here's Wednesdays for you, man.
And they tiptoed, and they were randomly like, hey, we got Christmas Day games. And people are like, what? That's the NBA day. I'm like, no, it's not. We're the sport of America. And everybody's like, you're right. So 40 million people watch Netflix. And 6 million people watch ABC. And that's what the NFL is now. So this isn't stunning in any way that they're taking Thanksgiving Eve.
What's next? Is it just every day of the week, or do we go for another holiday after this? What's the next holiday they can tackle?
I don't know what other holidays
they're
going to
move, but when they add another game to the regular season, they will move back to a Labor Day start. And so college football will not have their week one be their week one. It will be the NFL. So you're going to have to get rid of those Sunday games that you're playing because they always play a couple of games on that Sunday before the NFL begins. And then they always have a game on Monday, a game or two on Monday of Labor Day, on actual Labor Day. And those will go, you got to get rid of those because you're not going head-to-head against the NFL.
I mean, I don't know what the next holiday would be, but my prediction is that they're just going to find a way to have every day
Tuesday Night Football.
Yes. Yeah.
Can't you see all the international games like in a week and they'd play one every single day?
There you go. God. I mean, we have to move that way. If they want the money they're talking about wanting from the media rights.
They're opening the deal and renegotiating.
Well, right now you've got this Warner Paramount deal kind of up in the air in some ways because you've got the Middle Eastern war going on. And so now some of the Middle Eastern money that actually supports Paramount is like threatening to pull. And if that happens, Paramount will lose out on their bid for Warner Brothers. But if that money does, I mean, you have only so many avenues to find the money. So how do you sell getting more money?
I mean,
you give more dates.
Yeah, how many more udders can you milk?
They're going to milk as many as they can until that milk don't come out no more.
Keep reaching and milking, baby.
What age does a cow stop milking?
I don't know. It's a good question.
What's the prime milking age? And then when is that cow like, there ain't no milk in that udder?
She's all dried
up. That's a dried up
I
udder.
don't know. You guys milked a cow. You would know.
We did milk a cow.
Technically, he milked it. I held the neck.
I milked the hell out of that cow.
We would have won if our cowboy was good.
Dude, he couldn't rope or squat.
And we were told he was the GOAT.
Looking back on that, probably shouldn't have done it.
Is that a show regret?
I don't have any regrets about
that
it.
in that way, because I'll never forget somebody yelling at me from the crowd, like a listener being up there hammering a beer. Dirt, good luck. You're like, look around, like, all right.
By the way, we milked a cow at a rodeo. If you're curious what we're talking about.
I just remember running around thinking to myself, this is pretty dangerous, dude.
There were cows frantically running around because
being
we were
chased.
roping them and grabbing them.
Horses going crazy.
I don't even remember signing a waiver.
No.
I think they just put us and Drew Carney out there.
There was no sorts of insurance policy.
No.
There was none of that.
I do remember thinking, because we were right behind the main gate to get into the stadium, and you could hear the crowd was starting to kind of slowly trickle in for the day and the night. And I remember just thinking when the gate opened, I can't believe I'm doing this in my life.
This is where I'm at.
This is what I care about doing in my life, is grabbing the neck of a baby cow.
Yeah.
So Dirt can just yank its udder and milk it to a certain line in a baby bottle.
I was yanking that udder, man. I was working it.
We dominated the dojo.
I was working that
We
thing.
just didn't have it roped in time.
Yeah, one of those. It's pulling.
It was kind of making a
Bessie.
noise.
Come on, Letty.
I could have got bit, dude. I was by the face.
Do cows bite?
Hey, they nip.
Do they? Nibble on grass?
You yank wrong? You don't think a cow would bite?
I don't know. I don't think they do. I'm not saying it's not upset about the yanking. I think the yanking point can be valid.
Well, if you got a creature on its neck holding it, like I was giving my all to hold that thing still, because that's what I had to do, is hold it still.
Nibbling grass, man. That's all they nibble on. Yeah, it's eating the field.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Well, the NFL is taking over our lives, and look, I can sit here and complain about it. You know what I'm going to do? Watch it.
Well, yeah. Tuesday Night Football, it's going to be a thing.
Is it going to be a good game? It could be like Chiefs and Eagles day before Thanksgiving. I'm all over it, man. I'll watch it. Stat or Story is next on The Fan.
When the tournament moment calls for bold, break your beak. Beak Breaker IPA from Pelican Brewing. Enough to break your beak, not your bracket.
Jalen Henderson will put it in. Sebastian Tidor, corner three. Knocked around. Montana grabs it, and now will do it. And the Montana Grizzlies have held on.
That's brutal, man.
That hurts. That is last night in the Big Sky semifinals. Roxy Bernstein, ESPN2, Montana upset Portland State, and the Vikings' bid for a run to the tournament comes to an end.
Yeah, look, it's crushing for these small conferences for the one bid situations. Let's just say, great season, Portland State. Great job by everybody over there. And it's just a kick in the junk to lose like that.
Great new barn, too. Nice arena over there. Yeah, that hurts. Bracket Buster Report brought to you by Beak Breaker IPA from Pelican Brewing, packed with citrus hops. Killer aroma and a smooth finish. Beak Breaker, enough to break your beak, not your bracket.
The numbers?
There's 6,127 students at Adams, 58% of which are girls. So that's 7,107.32 boobs.
Break the news.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story.
Is it a stat or a story?
Evidence based on olfactory prowess is inadmissible, in case you didn't know.
This is Stat or Story, a monumental judgment call with Dirt and Sprague. Brought to you by Pioneer Heating and Cooling, locally owned and championship service since 1977 on the Fan Sports Network.
That's right, folks. It is Stat or Story time, brought to you as always by our good friends Pioneer Heating and Cooling, locally owned and championship service since 1977. I'll go ahead and just fire off today. We're running a little bit late to the segment, so we'll go quick here. Your number right out of the gate today, ladies and gentlemen, is 10. 10. 10. Is it the number of times, let me see how many games he's played this year so I can give you a little context. The number of times out of the 58 games played this year by Bam Adebayo that he has scored more than 25 points. More than 25. Or is it the estimated height that a person in a small town in Ohio came face-to-face with a Bigfoot and made eye contact with him in broad daylight at 12:23.
I saw this yesterday at the tail end and didn't bring it up. There's been like one town that's had like
in Ohio,
just back-to-back Bigfoot sightings here.
It's Mantua, which is in Portage County, Ohio. It's a village with a population of about 1,000 people.
Right.
And they continue to have run-ins with a perceived to be Bigfoot and is 10 foot, his estimated height.
The ones I saw were 9 and 8, though.
Okay.
But there were so many that I may have missed a 10-foot beast.
A lot of big feet.
And I think it's going to be funny to say the guy that scored 83 has not scored more than 20 points 10 times. This is a story.
I believe it's a story. I don't think Bam's been over 25 that much this season.
As high as 32.
As high as 32.
Well, 83 now.
Well,
was
before
32.
last night. So you're both going story is the answer here? Okay. Double dip. 10 times over 25 points on the year for Bam, which does still put it in perspective of 58 games, only 10 times has he scored over 25.
Yeah.
And one of those was last night going for 83. The Bigfoot reported the latest eye-to-eye match that we have here, or eye contact meeting, the estimated height was 9 feet tall. So your guess was right. They are now saying to keep your eyes open and maybe your doors locked around a town in Ohio.
Wow.
Quote, if you're in this area, keep your eyes open, maybe your doors locked because there could be a Bigfoot in the same general vicinity. 9 foot tall, brown-haired Sasquatch been walking around. The witness is heard of out in the field in this area when they locked eyes with a 9 foot tall brown-haired Sasquatch. The terrifying thing happened in broad daylight at 12:33 in the afternoon. The witness was 120 yards away when the creature realized that it was being watched, so it didn't make a noise, but it started to move. The report says the Bigfoot seemed to know that the witness was there and left the area fast.
So there's just no scenario here.
Do we believe in Bigfoot?
Where like a black bear, because that's the only bear in Ohio, stands on its feet out of like defense, but from a distance at a weird angle in woods, and it looks like it's
reaching
10
up
feet.
trying to grab something off of a tree or something maybe, and you think it's standing,
and you think
walking
or
around.
it looks at you and is standing up, and so maybe it's like 7
And how in the
feet?
modern day are you out without your phone and you don't start like,
right?
Come on.
I mean, that's the thing is I used to believe the opposite here. I used to believe as a kid Bigfoot far more likely than aliens. And now I'm an adult, and I'm like, aliens have to exist. Bigfoot, come on.
Where is the Richter scale reaction if they do scientifically prove, like, cameras and it's not doctored, and here's the, like, we caught
It's
one?
broken. I mean, the world breaks.
You think so? If you find a Bigfoot, it's over that big
if they
a deal?
actually catch one,
like you snag one out of the wild and bring it in for
see it,
testing.
and it's there.
We got our King Kong situation going on. Put him on stage,
It's
make him
9
dance around.
feet tall. It looks like Harry from Harry and the Hendersons. Dude, it's
Any of those? Yeah.
Man.
All right.
People like his dad, their brains are breaking.
It's a Bigfoot. I hope Bigfoot's real. I want to believe.
It'd be pretty cool.
Let me believe, man.
Gotta be honest,
That would
it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be fascinating.
Your number's 309.
309.
309. Is it the current batting average of one Pete Crow Armstrong in the World Baseball Classic?
PCA to you.
Yeah.
Go Cubbies.
He tried to rally the crew yesterday.
Remember, his mom is the mom from Rookie of the Year.
Oh.
The actual mom. The actress is his mom.
Yes.
That's cool.
Isn't that wild?
What a tie.
And he plays for the Cubs.
Yeah.
Right?
Or is it the address at the Benson Hotel where one Damian Lillard
I want to go to this place.
is opening Portland's first true luxury sports lounge?
Luxuries, what does that mean?
Honorable mention is the name of it.
Honorable mention. Okay, 309 the address, 309. Are we talking spring training or World Baseball Classic batting average?
I said World Baseball Classic.
Okay, just correcting there, or making sure I'm on the same page.
Yep. Do you know the Benson address?
I have no idea.
Supposedly down in the basement.
I will give you all the information on
give me a stat. I have no idea. Give me a stat. I'll roll the dice with a stat. He's played. I know he's had a couple of moments, couple of hits. 309. Yeah,
I think it's higher than that. I think he's been raking in the WBC, so I will say Story.
Okay. Dirt. Swag, but with dirt logic.
Sweet.
It's 300.
Oh, okay.
Pete Crow Armstrong is batting 300 in the World Baseball Classic. This comes via the news yesterday. I saw it from our friends over at Coin. Trailblazer star Damian Lillard at the helm of a ritzy watering hole debuting in downtown. He's joining the Urban Restaurant Group and local entrepreneurs, including former Beeb David Lucas.
Yeah.
And opening a place called Honorable Mention, described as the city's first true luxury sports lounge. He has some quotes in here into which he just talks about how important it is to have a restaurant like this in the city. If you're curious what a luxury sports lounge
what are we talking about?
serves,
Like, are we talking like this expensive club membership you have to have? Can anybody go?
I haven't seen anything about membership. I think it is open to people, but there's probably going to be a dress code. The pictures you can find online looks really swanky.
Okay, like leather couches and...
the chef is Bobby Brown.
Nice.
Hell of a name.
That is a great name.
And their culinary menu will include burgers, chicken wings, nachos, and things they call elevated dishes, such as mini lobster rolls, beet pickled deviled eggs, and beef tartare.
I'm intrigued.
Okay. I'll be curious to see how long this, because we've been around long enough and we've tried to see higher end, elevated sports bar themed stuff, and it has a splash, but sustaining it. Like, if you're going to run a sports, you need people in there on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Yes, you do.
And yeah, I'll be curious to see if like you say, there's a dress code, there's some stuff going. I will be
you hear
very
high end,
curious.
The release does not actually say dress code, but when I saw the images,
I
think
saw
he
it
walked in
too.
there with a white T-shirt and a backwards hat.
If you think like a high end kind of what kind of wings and nachos are we talking here?
Yeah.
Well, so here's the
So
menus.
is high end just the prices on the menu, or are we getting some specialty stuff?
So cocktail drinks, they'll have a drink called the Runner's High and Sucker Punch, so they're going to lean right into the sports theme here. Cocktails will cost $14, while prices on the food menu will range from $9 to $125.
Okay, so you have the ability to make it an expensive outing if you want to, but there are cheaper options available.
I don't think people are living in a spot where they want to make it a more expensive outing.
You never know. What are we talking though? Like, what's my $100?
What's $125 on there?
Yeah.
Is that like some
we
fancy?
don't have the menu all out yet.
Some tomahawk steak or something.
It will
give me
open
something like that, sure.
4 to 11 p.m. from Sunday to Thursday, and through midnight from Friday to Saturday. 4 to 11, Sunday, Thursday, 4 to midnight, Friday and Saturday. I have not seen a date of when it is set to open, but it will be at the Benson Hotel. The London Grill is what used to be there.
Got it. Tickle me intrigued.
Oh, it actually opened its doors last Friday.
Oh,
My
okay.
apologies.
So it is open
now.
You can go check it out.
So if you've been there, that's the Dame Lillard spot.
Let us know how it is if you've been there.
All right, your number is 19.
19.
Is it the number of sacks Trey Hendrickson had in his single-season highest total? So the single-season highest total for sacks for Trey Hendrickson, pardon me. Or is it the cost in cents of the very first Burgerville burger sold as they just celebrated their 65th anniversary yesterday?
I love that sauce.
I'm going to go...
You think there's going to be a half here? Is he going to have a 18.5.
Yeah.
19.5.
I'm going to go stat. I don't know why. I just feel like that's the right answer.
It's a good guess.
I feel it in my bones, and I'm going to go Dirt Logic, slightly more expensive burger. Not by much, but like 45 cents.
So how old did they turn, Swag?
65.
What
Their
year are we
65th
talking?
So that's
anniversary.
1961.
I mean, that's not... We're not talking the 1920s here.
I think 19 cents is right. I'm going to go Story.
Okay.
17.5 sacks for Trey Hendrickson. He did it twice in 2023 and 2024. And then he had 14 in 2021. But yeah, they celebrated. Burgerville rolled back some prices, not all the way to 19 cents. They had $1.65 fries, $1.65 drinks, $3.65 cheeseburgers. But in March 10th, 1961, when the very first Vancouver Burgerville opened, which is no longer in existence there, they offered 19-cent burgers alongside fries, soft serve, lime frosties, and soft drinks.
The first one opened is in Vancouver?
Yeah. It's
that
not there.
sucks.
It was
I thought that
old,
was
No, it was the old drive-in looking one.
Right, but like...
I thought it was ours.
Don't we always claim it?
No,
Well,
George
that one
Propstra
closed.
in Vancouver. No, it because their headquarters were in Vancouver for a long time.
Nah, we're going to claim it. That's
My
fake
whole life
history.
I've been claiming Burgerville for Oregon stuff.
So
Just
they
rewrite
have,
it. Just rewrite. That's what we do now. If you don't like the history, rewrite it. It's ours.
I've always maintained this about them. Delightful. I love a local institution surviving and going as long as they have. I will only ever order milkshakes, fries, double cheeseburgers, single cheeseburgers, sauce. I don't go any other item.
But the Walla Walla onion rings were always my favorite.
The Walla Walla onion rings are fantastic.
When those come in,
You're right.
You'll get me to a Burgerville.
I'm a Burgerville guy, man. Always have been. We had one right by Cleveland when I was in high school, so we ate there
It's still
all
there?
the time. Yeah, it's still there. Right on Powell.
Got a little jukebox on the side.
They had a little Warrior special. It's like $4. I can't remember how much it cost, but you got like a cheese. They were all ready to go for lunchtime.
You
Kids would
find
walk
yourself
in.
ordering like one of the value meals? Because I never do.
We only did it when I was in high school.
do
I didn't do
burgers.
like a $13 burger back then, but if I go to a Burgerville now, which I will do occasionally, I will get one of their bigger burgers.
Really?
I'm not a value menu guy.
I just feel like their cheeseburger is better than their bigger burger.
Give me a couple of patties, some bacon. I mean, I'm all about it. I'll eat Burgerville every day.
My mom had to work there for a second job for a while, and she came home one day and she goes, "You want a secret?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's up? How was work?" "Oh, it's good. Want a secret?" I was like, "Sure." She pulls out of her purse this binder. She goes, "I can make the sauce."
Did you keep it? You take it, write that down? What's the sauce?
We didn't even end up making it. She got discounts and free food. We just ended up just eating the sauce because it was already there.
I got the secret sauce.
But like how proud she was of like,
Yeah.
I know the ingredients.
I know the secret sauce.
Secret sauce. I was
I
like,
do this at
okay.
McDonald's where they're like their Big Mac sauce is just Thousand Island.
Arch sauce now.
No, it's different. It's
No,
different.
no, we put salt in there. There you go. Sadder story every Wednesday at 9:15. Well done. We still got a lot to get to in the last 27 minutes of the show. We'll pass along some of the details of the Daniel Jones contract, and that is now being reported. Those missed earlier. He has re-signed with the Indianapolis Colts, so we'll get into that coming up next. But first, here's us with a update.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, the next several days going to be filled with college hoops from morning till night. Conference tournament action already underway in the Atlantic 10. St. Bonaventure leading LaSalle 48-33 at halftime. 17th seed in the Big Ten, Maryland leading Iowa 21-12 with 6 to go in the first half. And Pittsburgh leading NC State 34-25 in the first half.
Boy, if you think you know what's going on planet Earth, you have no idea because people smarter than you have no idea. According to a new study published in its journal Nature, Amazon moles have not suffered the predictive negative effects of asexual reproduction. They have just discovered for over 100,000 years, this fish just clones itself.
What?
Females just clone themselves.
How do you do that?
They push out another version of themselves. They don't reproduce.
That's wild.
100,000 years, and we just figured out this fish clones itself.
New information, man. Add this to the list of, that aged terribly. There was a diehard Baltimore Ravens fan. His name's Nate on social media. Hamilton_Depoy is his handle. So, he's dabbling.
Did he get a Crosby tattoo?
He did not go tattoo. He did not go Super Bowl champ tattoo. He sent out a tweet on March 4th saying, if the Ravens happen to trade for Max Crosby, I will completely shave my head.
Oh, no.
They then traded for Max Crosby. He quote tweeted it with a completely shaven head.
Did he have a before picture?
He did not.
Does he got good hair?
It's hard to tell because the picture he tweeted out was completely bald. I have not gone to the account.
You can't even see the faintness of a hairline?
It doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look like he's completely bald, but it almost looks like he shaved his eyebrows too. And oops.
There you go. More college hoops, fish cloning, and bad regret stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigart from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of a.m.
All right, I'm going to do something real quick before we get to the Daniel Jones specifics. A listener had asked for this, and I've kind of spaced on doing it.
Talking about the World Baseball Classic and how we're a complete letdown right now?
No, I'm going to go with another sport that we're not a complete letdown in. I don't know if you know this. We won the gold medal in hockey, bitch. Just stick that in your pipe and smoke it. But I'm actually not going to bring up an American player.
Are you talking
here.
to me or Canada?
It's a Canada thing. Yeah, Canada thing. Anyways, this actually isn't even about American player, but we had asked, hey, can you guys do like a 2-minute check-in every now and then on hockey? And I'm not going to do a 2-minute check-in on hockey.
Let me just take my headphones off.
But I do want to just simply point out the history that was made. So we talked about this guy during the Olympics. Macklin Celebrini is a force of nature. So out of the Olympics, he played for Team Canada. He's 19 years old.
Okay.
There was a story that came out. He plays for the San Jose Sharks. He was a number 1 overall pick. They won the lottery, and it was one of those, like, remember in the NBA lottery when Wemby was coming out and we were in on it? That was the Macklin Celebrini lottery. Like, who's going to win it and get the golden goose to be carry you into your future. Season ticket sales in San Jose during the Olympics, because he was torching it up for Canada, went up like 80%. And it's been a relevant franchise for a number of years. They went to a cup final however many years ago it was, and they've disappeared since then. So the interest in the league, the season ticket purchases, like all of it is skyrocketed. He became the 3rd fastest player as a teenager to reach 90 points, and he did it in 62 games. The only other teenagers to do it faster than him, go ahead and guess it, Sidney Crosby and Wayne Gretzky. The dude is 19 years old with 90 points in 62 games, and he is going to be an absolute problem for the rest of the league. There's your hockey note. Your 45 seconds is over.
Can you explain that to me, like in a basketball way?
Points and assists, he has had more of them as a 19-year-old than everybody but 2, and the 2 are Michael Jordan and LeBron James.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Got it.
And
all
even
right.
though, I didn't do it. God. No.
What? Oh, we got more? Yeah! Keep it going, NFL!
Not NFL, Bob.
Oh, we fired Mark DeRosa.
Not Team USA, Bob.
Did we have another Blazer coach arrested by the FBI?
Tiago Splitter is in... No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
it is basketball related, though.
Don't do that.
I'm just kidding. That wasn't
not
nice.
a good joke. We have hired Joyner.
Oregon State is set to hire Michigan assistant coach Justin Joyner as its next head basketball coach.
All right. Yeah. Woo! Woo! 7 out of 8 in NIL spending won't matter. You said he's Michigan?
He's a Michigan assistant.
That's the Dusty May system. Where's Dusty May right now?
He's torching it up right now.
Gonna be a 1 seed is where he's at. You better watch out, Pac-12. Texas State, Boise, Gonzaga, bend over, baby. The Beavs are coming.
Let me pull up this guy's bio. He's an assistant at Michigan. He's been the name that's been kind of bantered about.
Randy been an assistant for a while.
Randy been an assistant for a while. He joined, I'm trying to see, he went to UC Santa Barbara, West Coast guy.
Yeah.
Started working as an individual skills development coach and in the AAU circuit. Hey-o.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big recruiting guy.
Yep, joined the college level in 2017. As you mentioned, on St. Mary's staff, followed a successful season. He was promoted to assistant coach, and then he eventually became the associate head coach for 2022-2023 after a run as an assistant, and then joined Michigan. And you find your next head basketball coach.
Yeah, and now we wait to see if they actually fund the institution or if they continue to be underfunded. And if a guy can recruit and he doesn't get the resources, I think we'll discover that he can't recruit very well.
Not going to go international anymore? We got to get back stateside?
Well, I think he's got his resume says to me is he has the international.
He's plugged into every level of
guys to
lower
go
level
both,
basketball.
Yeah, both the AAU route or the international guys who are a little cheaper to get on a dollar and cents basis. But if you don't fund this properly, none of this will matter.
No, it won't. And I don't know if that's going to be the case because there's not a lot of faith inside that athletic department. But if you are if you're hiring an assistant away from a program, hard to think of one better than Michigan right now. we all think they're going to win the national championship.
Yeah.
They just beat up on Michigan State again this weekend, probably going to win the Big Ten title and would definitely be a 1 seed in the tournament. So not a bad program to go grab a coach from, and Oregon State is hired the replacement for Wayne Tinkle. This was the only thing in terms of like logistically, why did it make sense for Wayne, is that they had this deal in place.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know if they negotiated it, but there clearly had to have been a conversation. This was rapid. Wayne just coached his last game.
That report
2
came
days
out,
ago.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 days ago that name popped up.
Everybody knew this is who they were targeting. Oregon State knew who they were targeting, and now the question still remains, your athletic director making this hire. How do we feel about that? But good basketball background. We'll see how it works out. Justin Joyner is the new head coach at Oregon State. We'll wrap it up with the most random tiebreaker scenarios you could possibly root for and specific details on Daniel Jones' contract next on The Fan. All right, welcome back in. Let's get to details quickly on Daniel Jones' deal. We haven't touched base on that. That passed through about an hour ago. He signed an extension with the Colts, and you jokingly were like, there's reports out there he's wanting $50 million, and I'm just like internally chuckling hearing you say that. And then the tweet comes
literally
across,
broke.
2-year, $100 million. I'm like, wait a minute, he actually got it.
He got it, yeah.
Here are the specifics from Adam Schefter. Breakdown of the Daniel Jones 2-year deal. $88 million base value. $50 million of it is fully guaranteed at signing. $60 million of it is guaranteed for the case of an injury, and the max value of the contract, if he stays healthy and hits incentives, is $100 million, making it the largest 2-year contract in NFL history. And somebody had a great text. I can't scroll back far enough to find it, but to sum it up from a listener was basically like, imagine 4 years ago, or 2 years ago, saying Daniel Jones is going to sign a 2-year, $100 million contract and Geno Smith's going to be on the Jets. Things change quickly.
I mean, look, they're kind of in a situation. They don't have much of a choice. I still don't know what week he's going to return from the Achilles.
Yeah,
50 is such a high number, but it sounds like it's a 1-year deal.
It's a 1-year deal.
If this doesn't work, you move right on.
They had a lot of money. It's a chunk of money up front, and then it's like, all right, if this works out and we can put together the final, whatever it be, 2 months of the season and you're playing well, then you keep them around for the second year of the deal, and you feel fine about it. And if not, you get out of it after 1 year.
You had a feeling they were going to ultimately have to do this once they signed Alec Pierce.
Yes.
When Alec Pierce got the $100+ million deal, it was like, all right, they're in.
Yep. And that's what they've signaled. Now, to rooting interest for tonight, I don't know if people had this on the radar. We just kind of assumed yesterday on the show, like we talked about it, that unfortunately their manager did too, of Team USA in the World Baseball Classic was playing Italy last night at 5 o'clock. And Italy's, Italy. We're filled with all-stars and MVP candidates and Cy Young Award winners. This is going to be a sacrificial lamb. Let's go light them on fire and then see where we go in the quarterfinals. That was not the case. Team USA fell down 8-0 to Italy last night.
Yeah.
8-0. Now, they scored 6 runs to make it 8-6. Aaron Judge had the tying run on base and struck out to an Italian dude drinking espresso to end the game. And so they lost 8-6. Now here comes the conundrum. Italy is 3-0. We are 2-1. And Mexico is 2-1, or maybe we're 3-1. I can't remember. 3-1.
We're 3-1.
That's right. We'd already played one more game, so we're 3-1. Mexico 2-1. Italy 3-0.
That's why you have the tiebreaker. You're going to walk us through.
Mexico lost to us. Mm-hmm. Italy beat us. We now need certain things to happen today. Now, the tiebreaker scenario is one of the most ridiculous that I've ever heard. It is outs. What is it? Outs divided by runs scored.
Runs scored divided by runs allowed.
Runs allowed
divided by recorded outs.
That's a great way to decide who advances in this tournament, and it's very easy for everybody to follow. Well done creating that. So essentially my reading on this is if Italy wins, we're in. Doesn't matter the score, doesn't matter. Italy's 4-0, we're 3-1, we advance. Mexico's 2-2, bye-bye. If the Italians win. If Mexico wins, because of this math equation that we have in front of us, we need Mexico to score at least 5 runs.
Correct.
In order to win. If they win the game 4-3, 4-2, 3-2, 1-0, 2-1, we are out of the World Baseball Classic.
Which is shocking because we were the favorite going into it.
It would be a disaster. Yeah. And Italy and Mexico would advance to the quarterfinals, and all of our country would stop watching this tournament.
I wouldn't watch it as closely.
Sure.
What I would say, too, is DeRossi yesterday was on the Hot Stove Show during our show. And he said he was basically asked about the game, and he goes, "Well, we know we're already advanced to the quarters, but we still care and we want to win this game." And then he was asked after this game, and they lost to Italy, "Hey, you said today that you knew you were in. Did you not know that?" And he basically was like, "Yeah, I misspoke." And he came out and admitted he had no idea. He thought he was in.
We had looked at it won wrong. All of the games. We were 3-0. Mexico was the primary competition we had in our pool. We didn't think we were going to lose to the Italians.
This is going to be an all-time bad look for DeRosa that he's never going to be able to recover from if they end up getting knocked out of this because of Mexico's win at a low number. I'll also just defend him in this sense. This is my only defense. They tried to win the game.
The players laid an egg.
The players laid an absolute egg. Judge had a runner on base down 2 in the 9th.
Against an Italian dude.
And
couldn't get it.
Yeah. Swung at a pitch and game over. The espresso drinkers move on.
Taking their shots, man. Now, good question from a listener. What happens if the game goes to extra innings and the equation changes? Because there'd be more outs recorded?
Dude, You guys were explaining it. I stopped listening. I'll just wait to find out who wins and who advances.
I'm not going to watch it tonight. It'll be one of those, like, check the phone score and see what is Italy and Mexico doing. If it comes down to the wire and it's like 4-3 in the 9th inning and you need to, like, are they going to score one more run, then maybe I'll turn it on. But there you go. That would be a disaster for Team USA. That will do it for us, folks. If you missed any of the show, go check the podcast, 1051thefan.com, at Dirt and Sprague, and at 1051thefan on Twitter. Tomorrow is a Magic Hat Thursday. I already got my submissions ready to go, dialed in, fired up. Are the Blazers playing tomorrow? When's their next game?
No, Friday against the Jazz.
Good. We get a 2-day reprieve.
Jazz game. Can't wait. I'm so jazzed for that one.
Kill the Jazz and then talk about how they're back.
Players Championship starts tomorrow.
That it does. Players Championship, the fifth major. Begins tomorrow. Can't wait, man. That'll do it for us. Thanks so much for being a part of our Wednesday, everybody. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet on YouTube. We will talk to you at 6 a.m. tomorrow. The firm Harrison Morangus next. Listen to 105.1 FM The Fan.